The Treubig Show.
This is the time for pleasant discussion in a thoroughly relaxed mood.
Well, okay, hotshot.
Is it possible for you to shut the up for 10 seconds?
TreubigShow.com.
What's up, everybody? My name is Treubig. This Treubig Show. Hit me up, TreubigShow.com. Phone number 855-873-8244. One to listen, two to call. Right. Broadcasting live. TreubigShow.com. Tune in. YouTube. We got it. Got it going. Right. Look at that. Look at the gold price. Holy shit. 1,956. Boy, did it drop. It was over $2,000. Some funny business is going on. I detect funny business happening with gold. I don't know. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. But it's going to be interesting to see throughout all this time that I've had the gold and silver price up on the screen. It's going to be interesting to see where it's at in the future. If there is a future, I don't know. There might not be a future anyway. Who knows what's going to happen here in the coming years. Where to start? Jeez. I saw this here on MSN. It's titled, "Forced Isolation May Be the Only Way to Stop Resurgence of Virus." Basically, without reading the stupid piece, They want people to be forced to leave their homes and go to these places for weeks, even if they're not showing signs of illness, even if they are quote unquote asymptomatic. No. That ain't gonna happen. They can do that in North Korea. They could do that in any other country, really. I don't really give a shit. But that ain't happening here. To where you test positive and they force you to go to some place to get well, apparently. Not happening on my watch. Unless I'm dead, then they bury me. Yeah, that ain't fun either. Although I won't give a shit because I won't be here. I'll be far away. Hello.
You have a podcast?
No.
now.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
Live radio, that's what they've got.
Yes.
We're on radio right now.
Right now.
We're on the fucking air, baby.
So, what's your podcast about?
Porn.
All right. What's the topic of today?
Mandingos.
All right. What about it?
They're hot.
Like how good they are.
All right. Isn't that your opinion?
Well, I mean, we like to share our opinion. It's not like a fact-based podcast, you know?
No, it's not fake news.
No.
No.
Fake porno news.
No.
No, we don't mislead the masses here. No, sir.
No. So there's no informative news. It's just opinion.
We find the best ones, and then
We bring our opinions to the people.
we find the best ones or that we think are the best, and we like share them to other people.
All right. Very nice. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not against it. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yes. Enjoy.
Tell the radio what's up.
You tell the radio what's up.
What's up, radio?
All right. Anything else?
Bitches aren't shit.
Amen.
All right. And on that note, he skipped. I totally left him hanging on that note.
Okay, pull up ho.
What?
Live radio.
Yes. Hold on. No one can see you.
Okay, period.
That hints the radio part of it. I would have put live video.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, not everyone does. Some people start like getting all nervous.
That's really funny. What are you doing on here?
All right, bring up a topic.
Black Lives Matter.
What about it?
Black Lives Matter. They
What
do.
about it?
Do you support Black Lives Matter?
The organization or the cause?
The cause.
It's misguided.
I mean, I can see because there's been a lot of riots and stuff. I do support Black Lives Matter as a cause, but I don't support like looting store. I think that's unnecessary. But I mean, at the same time, no one will be talking about Black Lives Matter if the riots happened, you know? Because they need like an uproar. They need to be noticed, or else Black Lives Matter would have gone extinct if, you know, no one talked about it.
So what you're saying is that a lot of people needed to be victimized for supposed victims' words to be heard.
I mean, these buildings can be replaced, obviously, but yeah, there were a lot of small businesses that were looted. And I do feel really bad, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck goes on in their heads.
So do you own a house?
I live in an apartment.
Okay. So if your apartment burnt down because someone burned it down in the name of trying to further a cause, you'd be okay with that?
I mean, it didn't, like, looting and burning shit didn't really, like, add to the cause. But obviously it's fucked up. But I still wouldn't bash on Black Lives Matter as a movement. I just bash on people in general, not the movement, not the whole movement.
So what does the movement stand for?
It's honestly just, like, Black Lives Matter. Like, it's not a choice. It matters. I don't see why black people are being treated differently than any other race. I mean, black people are mostly targeted by policemen like 5 times more than a white person.
Where is the evidence of that?
I can show. I mean, there's this thingy on Instagram. Fucking see the source, but I can search it up.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of cases I think the murderer of Trayvon Martin is still free. He's still free. I mean,
Well, that wasn't
but it
the
was
police.
the law at the time. But I mean, laws have changed, right? He's still a murderer no matter what, if he's free or not.
So, would you consider all people, like, I'm not saying that in that, Zimmerman, in that case, was acting in self-defense or not, but if someone who is acting in self-defense killed someone, would they be a murderer?
No, but there's a case, I don't know if you've heard of it, but this woman killed her rapist and her abductor for self-defense, obviously, but I think she still got sentenced to jail. I forgot her name, but there was this one case. I think she's in jail or something, but she's black. She got sentenced to jail for self-defense.
Did the jury find that it was self-defense?
I mean, I think so, because the man was her rapist and her abductor. Let me see.
Wait. Was this woman just interviewed? Like, this happened a while ago, right?
I think so, yeah, maybe like.
And she was interviewed saying that it was her pimp, right?
I think her name was Centolia Brown. Yeah.
There's, you know how many court cases there are? It's impossible to follow all of these. Like,
Yeah,
I could rattle off
one-
I could rattle off some too that were injustices for white people as well. Why is it one particular race?
I mean, obviously there's more cases, but this one's just widely known.
What was her name?
I'm just saying, fuck. Let me type it out.
What's the last name?
Brown.
All right, so let's see. NPR is the first thing that came up. Centoya Brown, who served 15 years of a life sentence for killing a man when she was 16, has been released from a Nashville prison, Tennessee officials announced early Wednesday. All right, let's take a look and see, because if this is who I think it is, I remember seeing a video quite a while ago of her being interviewed. Let's see here. In 2006, Brown was convicted of aggravated robbery in the first degree, murder for killing a 40-year-old real estate agent, Johnny Allen, whom she went home with after he picked her up for sex at a Sonic drive-in in Nashville. She told police that she pulled a pistol out of her purse and fatally shot Allen because she thought he was reaching for a gun. She then fled with Allen's gun and money. She drove away in his pickup truck. Prosecutors claimed that Brown shot Allen as part of a plan to rob him. But Brown told police she was acting to protect herself.
Yeah.
She was convicted and sentenced to life in prison over the killing. All right, so one thing here, or there's a few things to note on things like this. I'm trying to see if I don't think she's the person that I was thinking of. There's another person video that I saw of a woman who was a prostitute as a teenager, and she killed her pimp, and then she was sentenced to I don't know how long her sentence was, but in an interview with her, she said that she deserves some punishment, but maybe not life in prison. I think that was her.
She's only what, 16?
Well, I don't know how old the person I'm talking about. I don't even know the person's name.
Okay.
So here's the thing about children. This is what I don't understand about children in the criminal justice system. And I've said this for a long, long time, is that we have a juvenile system for a reason, that up until the person is age 18, the juvenile system and the punishments that come down as a juvenile should be reserved for juveniles. And the fact that juveniles are prosecuted as adults is insane to me, because they're not adults.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's, if juveniles can, it's the same argument here as having the drinking and smoking age being 21, but yet you could go fight in a war, and you can't even have a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing as if you could be prosecuted as an adult, if you could be prosecuted as an adult being a juvenile, well then let juveniles smoke, let them drink, because obviously they're mature enough as a juvenile to be tried as adults. So they must be mature enough as juveniles to smoke and drink. So this is the double standard that I'm not in favor for at all. Has nothing to do with race or anything like that. I've said this for a long, long time. Even the worst of crimes, school shootings, if a lot of minors, juveniles that were involved in school shootings were tried as adults. And I think that's wrong, that they shouldn't. The juvenile system needs to be the juvenile system. So I don't, to me, the whole thing's tainted because she was tried as an adult. And she shouldn't have been. As far as it being unfair, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Someone in the same position, as far as race goes, being a white person, could and have gotten the same sentence. It all comes down also to circumstance, too. All circumstances are not the same. But when you put yourself in situations, this is also where personal responsibility comes into play. When you put yourself in situations and use a firearm, you have to know damn well that you're justifiably using the firearm.
Yeah.
That's for anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Even police officers are being prosecuted for using firearms. So there's a lot of things involved in that. To just say that it's racism, I can't do that. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, like when you put it that way, it's like, yeah, I kind of agree.
Okay. I mean, it's easy on the surface when you hear a 16-year-old girl. I don't know if.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to go. OMG, there's like a storm and I have my windows open. What the fuck? Okay.
All right.
Lovely talking to you. I love your radio, period.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, bye. All right, hold on. So let me finish what I was saying. She actually said she agreed with me. If you would see what was on her wall, it's had Black Lives Matter, abolish the police, defund the police, like all over her wall. She's actually one of the most reasonable people that I spoken to that is for Black Lives Matter. And when I separated the cause from the organization, she specifically went to the cause, and she's not for the looting. So I have respect for people like that. That's where the disconnect widely is that no one can even talk to each other because it's quote unquote offensive. You're racist. It's not. I don't know what her nationality was. I don't know what her race was. She was not white. who I was talking to, and neither is Centoya Brown. I don't know what her race or nationality is either. Let's see. She's not white. So, and she got, as a 16-year-old, got life. She served 15 years, and apparently she got released as of August 7th. 2019 when this was published. I don't know when her release date is. I'm not going to continue reading it, but there you go. That's pretty much that. Reason prevails, and there's a lot to a situation, such as how I described it right there. There's a lot to a situation. Anytime somebody uses a firearm, that changes everybody's life in an instant. Even if it's justified. Everyone involved, and even people who aren't involved, their lives have changed forever when a firearm is used. So, the firearm better be used in a justified manner. It better be. Or else the tables are turned on you in an instant. You read about a lot of these cases, such as like the Stand Your Ground case in Florida, the one that was widely known. The guy that got pushed down and pulled out his gun and shot the guy who pushed him over a parking spot. I forget what these people... There's so many cases, I can't keep track of them all. Nor do I have time to. I've been working since 5 o'clock this morning, okay? And it's 20 after 9. I worked right up until I sat down right here 15 minutes ago, or 30 minutes ago now. 10 minutes before the show started. That's when I started getting ready. So I've been working and busted my ass all day. I got shit to do. So it's hard for me to keep track of all of this. But I have to say, I respect her for actually saying, when you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense. Because it does make a lot of sense. I'm not going to say that she deserved it, what she got. It takes a lot of thinking is involved in a complex case like that. The situation's complex. Yeah, someone died. We know. What were the circumstances surrounding that? And it's multiple circumstances. There's a lot of circumstances surrounding the end result that took place. There's a lot of events that led up to it. It's very circumstantial. Each individual case is like that. So for people who think that it's one size fits all, that everyone should be tried equally for the equal crime, well, crimes aren't equal. That's why there's a lot of circumstance. That's why there's a lot of different degrees of murder. It's difficult to talk to people like that. Truly is. Not her. She was actually one of the most honest, respectable people I've talked to about this issue. But when you start breaking it down, it is what it is. It is. What it is. What is it? What is it is? Is it what it is? I could hear myself, so I was playing around. Hi. And leave, why don't you? Hello.
Yeah, you support Trump.
Biden 2020. Why is Biden a bad choice?
Why is Trump a bad choice?
Because Biden is going to give mandatory masks across this nation to keep everyone safe.
So?
Trump hasn't done that yet.
So? Masks are stupid. You know that, right? Just because you wear a mask doesn't mean you're going to get the coronavirus.
Yeah, it means I'm not going to.
I guess the coronavirus is going to look at the mask and say, oh, you're not getting it. Is that what you think?
That's the point.
Ooh, it doesn't make much sense, does it?
Why?
Oh, I just told you why.
No, you didn't.
Well, Trump is going to be your president, so you might as well suck it up.
Hey, I highly doubt that.
Oh, I don't.
Why?
He's definitely going to get it.
How do you figure?
Because half the states are turning Republican. Mr. Live Radio.
Right. You're live right now.
Okay, good. I really don't care.
So any other reasons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Lots of them.
You know, his vice president pick was probably the best choice. I think Kamala Harris is what's going to push Biden into the Trump house. Into the Trump house. What the fuck am I saying?
You stupid bitch. Alright, what's going on? Live radio.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fucking fan dabby dozy, pal. How are you doing?
Nice. I'm well. What's on your mind? Bring up a topic.
What's on my mind? Bring up a topic.
Yes.
Can we talk about anything?
Anything.
What about cocaina?
What's that?
You like a cocaina? Some cocaine, pal?
No, not anymore.
No? You don't like it anymore?
No.
Well, that would explain why you've put pounds on.
Oh,
I
yeah?
bet when you were on the cocaina, you were a skinny motherfucker like me.
Oh, you're on it?
I'm not on it. I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Prove it. Prove it.
Yeah, I can prove it.
Prove it.
You said that you would be a skinny motherfucker on coke
fake
like
news.
me.
Fake news. Fake news.
Oh,
I
yeah?
said I was a skinny motherfucker. Yeah. I'm a skinny motherfucker. I don't say
Yeah,
anything
skinny
else.
motherfucker on coke.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna go sugar my fucking pizza. There we
Say.
go. Sugar in my pizza.
Yeah.
What are you doing anyway?
How do
You
you
on
how do you
Twitch?
taste your pizza with that sprinkled all over it?
Well, the thing is, you don't really taste your pizza when that's sprinkled all over it. Your tongue kind of goes numb and you just...
What? So
Chill,
it's
yeah.
kind of like you're just chewing on a sponge.
It's like a sweetener. You know what is better than a sweetener? Sweeteners have a lot of shit in them. That, nothing, pal. You don't taste anything, so you can get anything down you.
So
What are you doing anyway? You streaming?
so you get the pizza drips.
I don't know what pizza drips are, pal.
You
I'm
get
not
the
mate.
pizza drip.
I don't know what pizza drips are.
No.
No, educate me.
You get. Oh well, never mind. I'm not gonna even talk about it.
What, pizza drips? Is this something I need to Google?
No.
I'm gonna Google pizza drips.
Okay, go ahead.
If it's nothing entertaining, I'm gonna be fucking shocked, pal. If it's not a new habit to develop. Pizza drips. How to deal with drips in the oven. Fresh pizza, pasta, garlic bread. Pal, what the fuck have you sent me on here?
I didn't send you anything.
Pizza drips. Fucking Americans. Americans!
All right. Well,
Oh.
anything else?
What are you doing though? Tell me what you're doing. What are you streaming?
Broadcasting live
Whereabouts?
all
Shoot us
over
a
the
link.
world.
All over the world. See, you're
Yes.
broadcasting on the internet, is what you're telling me.
Right. Why,
so
aren't you?
That answered the question. I am broadcasting live.
Oh,
all
yeah?
across the globe. Yeah.
All right.
Whereabouts? What specific website can I find your broadcast across the globe?
Shitradio.com.
Shitradio.com.
Yes.
Is that an actual link?
You're live
Am I-
on shitradio.com.
Am I just going to get sent a bunch of scat videos?
Get it, baby!
Shit. This is going to be a scat site, innit? Shitradio.com. You're going to send me to a scat site, aren't you? Right, I'm not streaming this, I'm not streaming some scat. You've not sent me to stream some scat, have you? What is this? 9 hours and... Oh, mate, look at you. You are actually... There's a big delay on that, though, innit?
Wasn't a lie.
What is that? Treubig.
Show.
Why have you spelled true wrong?
Well, I didn't spell it that way.
Who spelled it that way?
Well,
Are they dyslexic?
I mean, your name is probably spelled all fucked up too.
Wait, my name's not spelled all fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
I speak the Queen's English, pal.
No. We don't. We fought a war against the
Mate, you're
the
not
Queen.
telling me that's how Americans spell true.
We fought a war against the British. And we got away from you and made up our own language. Okay.
Mate, true's not fucking real, is it? That's not how you want to spell true.
True.
I know it's true. Because that's fucking backwards as fuck. Whereabouts in America are you from?
The Northeast.
The north. What state? I'm not asking for a direct postcode. I'm asking for a state.
What, you want longitude and latitude?
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want those numbers. Just give me a state. I know quite a few bitches in Kentucky, so if you're lonely, I can maybe try and send you a couple.
What,
bitches.
do you swim over here to meet the bitches in Kentucky?
I would honestly, I'd love to try and swim over. I'd probably die.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
I mean, they didn't make it in the Titanic, did they?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they suck at like the fucking polar ice caps.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cold. I mean, you could try to find yourself a
Right, what state are you in? Tell me. I'm actually a fan of American sports, believe it or not. I'm a big fan of the NFL. Do you follow the NFL?
Fuck no.
Oh, for fucking...
NFL sucks.
The NFL is the class.
Why?
Because it's fucking entertaining. There's so much drama. There's a position for every cunt, isn't there? There's a position, if you're a fat fuck, you got a spot in an NFL. If you're a fucking skinny, fast little bastard, position for you. Some fucking fat nerd, position for you. It's the most inclusive sport in the world, pal.
Yeah, but you guys got cricket.
I'm not fucking English. I am not fucking English.
You don't play cricket?
No, I'm not English.
Why?
Because I'm not English.
Who cares? You're all for the NFL and you're not American.
I don't care. You can be
right. So what? Why are you biased against cricket?
Because cricket is for the English and Indians.
Anyone can play cricket.
Nope.
What about croquet?
Gay. Gay.
That's it?
Just gay.
Okay. Any other sport that's ping pong? You guys play ping pong?
I think the Japanese play ping pong.
Yeah?
Yeah. Is it not? I thought the proper term was table tennis. Let's be politically correct here.
Yeah, table tennis.
Yeah.
All right. Just like people who work at Subway are sandwich artists.
Yeah, they are sandwich artists.
Yeah.
I've got a pal that used to work at Subway.
Now, do you really eat fresh at Subway?
I don't think you do, pal. No.
Why?
Because I'm pretty sure it all comes in a frozen bag.
No, they bake the bread right there.
Yeah, but everything else is in a frozen bag, innit?
Isn't the dough in a frozen bag?
I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't know personally. I've not worked there, but I'm pretty sure it's a frozen bag.
Huh.
Right. You've actually been pretty sound to speak to, but I am getting bored.
I was bored from the beginning.
Don't you be giving me grief, pal. I could have gave you the fucking balls treatment. I didn't.
What? You were going to show me your balls?
I could show you my balls, but I didn't.
I would prefer not.
Exactly, so be gracious that you didn't see my balls then.
Well, when you skip me, there is a 50-50 chance that the next connection that I have is going to be some set of balls.
I reckon it's more the chest pose. That's the most popular pose in Omegle, the chest pose, where they've got their hands down and you know what the fuck they're doing, but they just aren't showing you their goods. That's the number one pose.
Oh,
see
where
the
you do,
chest,
where
see the
it's
head.
just
It's
torso.
It's this one. Yeah, yeah.
It's all
fucking-
torso.
It's
Well, no, what about not even their face? It's just all torso. Have you seen those ones?
I've seen those ones. Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
ones that you know the cunt's got a 3-inch knob.
I don't know why people do that. I couldn't do
I
that.
think it's because they're lonely, sad virgins that have never touched a girl in their life.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the truth. That's the sad reality.
Yeah.
They're all r/incel users.
That's possible.
It is. It's definitely possible.
Especially
It's
with
definitely true.
with the cock block virus.
I don't know what that virus is. Is that the coronavirus?
Yes.
That's not stopping me getting any pussy, pal.
No.
That is not
It's not the
marginally
cock
excused.
block virus for you.
It's not the cockblock virus. No, it's definitely not.
And so, what do you wear a mask?
We could say I wear a mask.
Do you
yeah,
put a
definitely.
paper bag over her head? Now you have a perfect excuse to do that.
I wouldn't. I mean, a paper bag would be advisable to some of the women that I will stoop to, but I definitely bag it.
Yeah.
We don't take risks. Don't trust hoes.
Yeah. No glove, no love, right?
Exactly, pal.
Yeah.
And if don't trust no hoes. That's it. End of story.
All right.
I'm gonna move on, pal. It's been lovely speaking to you. I hope
right.
you find some other cunt that's not got his balls out.
Have fun with the next cocksucker.
Yeah, I probably will. I'll try at least.
All
Yeah.
right. What? Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm well. Yourself?
I'm well too. Thank you. What's on your mind? Bring up a topic.
You know, is this actually live radio?
Yes.
That's dope.
All
What's
right.
the name of the show?
Shit radio.
Shit radio.
Yes. Bring up a topic. What you got?
Anything you want. I know, man. You got a lot of tags up here, so
Okay. Pick one and run.
let's go with Trump.
All right. What about him?
Well, I'm the one doing the interview here, so
No, I am.
Do you support Donald Trump, or?
I'm the one doing the interview.
I just told you we're on live radio.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are. And I asked you, what's on your mind?
All right. How about this? Let's talk about. I'm a war veteran. All right. I was
All
in
right.
the army. All right. I was in the army.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody I meet with a conservative tag thanks me for my service. Everybody I meet with the liberal tag does not. What do you feel about that?
Well, that anything that you had to do while overseas was not your decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you thank me for my service, or?
Absolutely.
Okay. I
Now,
appreciate,
some people don't like that, though.
I appreciate your support. I just wanted to let you know I was in Saddam Hussein's army, so thank you for the support, and it's good to meet another like vocal Saddam Hussein supporter here in
Yeah.
Google. So
Yeah, well, he's dead.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
He's dead.
I'm an anarcho-Baathist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that like I believe that there's no authority worth listening to other than Saddam Hussein, but he's dead. So
Yeah, he's dead.
I'm an anarchist. Yeah.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah, man. So
now what?
that's it, man. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just gotta join a drum circle and do some food not bombs.
Yeah? Are you excited?
Yeah.
What's
All that-
your next target?
Huh?
What's your next target?
I like to go to the one in Valley Stream. They have like the 3 floors. They have like the electronics on top, and then you get the fucking yeah. I don't know, man. I'm running out of dad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This entire thing was a joke.
Yeah.
Yep. So is your life. And he's gone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm from Brazil. And you?
All right.
Here.
Nice. How's
You like it?
how's football?
You like football? Soccer?
Yeah, I used to play it.
You like Neymar from PSG?
You gotta stay away from the microphone like that. I can't understand what you're saying.
You like Neymar from PSG?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't know Neymar, the best soccer player for Brazil?
No, I mean I don't watch soccer. I used to like playing it.
Ah, então você é viado, então. Você é viado.
Huh?
You want to learn some Portuguese words?
Not particularly today.
Oh, repeat with me. I love you in Portuguese is like this. Repeat. Eu?
Yeah, no thank you.
Why?
Because I really don't want to.
Ah, it's pretty cool. Repeat with me, bro. Eu?
No thank you.
Eu gosto. Eu gosto de.
Anyway, anything else?
Oh, bro.
Okay.
You don't want to learn Portuguese?
Absolutely not.
Why, bro?
No, I
Brazil is the best country in the world. We have President Jair Messias Bolsonaro. You like?
No.
No, because. Ah, foda-se. Why? Sorry. My English is not good. I'm from Brazil. I don't know how to speak English, bro.
Okay.
We don't have education here. The government sucks in Brazil.
The government sucks?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it sucks everywhere. So.
The government is shit.
Yes. Everywhere else outside of Brazil, the government is shit too.
Yes.
It's a worldwide situation where all governments are shit.
No. Especially in Brazil.
Yeah, well,
Brazil
okay.
is really shit.
That,
100% corrupção, Dilma boqueteira.
That's your opinion. There's probably shittier governments, like North Korea.
No, North Korea, so shit. Sicily sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure North Korea is shittier than Brazil.
Yes. You're sure.
All right, so I guess we agree on that. Anything else?
You like Austrian economy school?
No.
No?
No.
Frankfurt school?
No.
No? Chicago school?
No. Of what?
Paulo Guedes, a minister of Brazil, is studying in Chicago school.
Oh, Chicago School of what?
Paulo Guedes, conhece? Economista. Paulo Guedes.
I have no idea what that is.
Paulo Guedes, é o nome do cara, o arrombado. Ó, assim, ó. Paulo Guedes. Ministro.
All right, listen, I don't go to college. I'll never go to college. I never wanted to go to college, and I know nothing about college. Frankly, I think it's a waste of time, to be honest with you. And money, especially money, that I'm paying for. Other people's college, which is frustrating. And, there you go. That's how I feel about it.
What is your job?
Not going to college.
You like to Fórmula 1, parceiro?
No.
No?
No.
E
I'm an actual...
Colombia, like?
I'm actually a productive member of society, unlike, well, the majority of people in the world.
You like Mary. Like
Okay.
cocaine from Colombia?
No.
Pablo Escobar? Não gosta de farinha de trigo,
Não.
mano? Fazer bolinho?
Isn't he dead yet?
E heroína, gosta? Aplicar heroína, amigo?
Alright, I believe in.
Ah, tu gosta, né, safado? Tu gosta. Are you doing a stream
No.
on Twitch?
Alright,
No?
anything else?
No.
Alright, bye. Hello. Why communism?
You're like a somehow worse version of Alex Jones.
Thanks. That's what I was going for. Cunt. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Oh, you have a nice mic, man.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. So, what's on your mind?
I don't know. What are some of your political ideologies?
Well, let's not do that. Why don't you bring up a topic, and then we'll go into that, because ideologies and identities, it's all shit. So topics are better, because then we have common ground on some of them.
So, what do you think on what economical system would you prefer?
Free markets.
Free market. Well, with some regulations, right?
Which ones?
Come on, I'm for the free market as well, but a non-regulated market's not possible. I don't want a market for child porn.
Which regulations?
As little as possible. I mean, we can't have child porn, of course. You know, just
there's nothing to do with free markets.
I mean,
that's an activity.
But doesn't it give back to the market if you're like selling?
A market is just the exchange of money. Like that's really it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So murder can be sold on the free market. It doesn't mean that it has anything to do with the free market. It's an activity.
Well, I guess I agree.
Now, regulation would be you have to buy a license to start a business. That would be regulation.
Is that what it is right now?
Absolutely.
Oh, like in what's that thing called, the IAD, the $150 thing? What do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, let me search it up.
You talking about LLC?
Yeah.
No, that's you just declare to the state that you're a limited liability company, and you pay them $100 and some
$50, yeah.
To be declared that, so then your personal assets are not entangled in the business assets. So then if you're sued, you're not sued personally, you're sued, the business is sued. So no, that's different. That's just legal standing. You don't have to do that. You could do business as yourself, where your personal assets are included in liability and whatever you do in business. So no, it's completely different. What I'm talking about is to start a taxi company and drive people around. As a taxi service, you have to buy a license from the government. That would be regulation.
Yeah.
That would be an example of regulation.
Who are you voting for this election?
Okay, well, are you going to say something to that?
What do you mean?
To what I just said. We're talking about more free markets here.
Yeah.
I was for free markets. You said for as little regulations as possible. And I gave you an example what a regulation is. It's not murder or child porn. It's buying a license from a government, getting permission to do something, to sell a service. That as a hurdle, as a barrier to starting a business. That would be a regulation. So which regulations are you for?
I thought just those activities would be regulations. That's why I said as little as possible. Are tariffs regulations?
No, they're taxes.
Are you for tariffs?
No.
Yeah, I figured. I'm not super familiar with the two terms, but fair trading versus free trading.
All right, what is fair trading?
Exactly.
I'm asking.
This is what I've heard. I guess fair trading is what opposing those globalist things like NAFTA and stuff.
Fair trading? Fair trading. What is a fair trading act? A business that got no, that's Australia. I don't know. Fair trade laws. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Coming. Oh, my bad, man.
All right. Bye. Hello. Goodbye. It's really difficult talking to some people. Hi.
Do you support Trump?
Biden 2020.
You're gay.
Why?
No one likes Biden.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Oh, he's gone. I think I'm helping them by saying that. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, this was a live radio?
You're live right now.
I'm live. Great.
So what are the good things about socialism and communism?
I am not a socialist nor a communist myself.
Why
so
not? You should join. I have an application.
Wait, so let me ask you, what is your political philosophy or political ideology?
Definitely not socialism or communism.
That's all right. Yeah. So
or Marxism or any ism. It's there's only one ism I subscribe to, and that's leave me the fuck alone ism.
All right. Fair enough. So I mean, shit. I mean, if you won't tell me your political philosophy, I'm assuming you're probably like more of a. Well, I don't even know what you are because are you just apolitical or a centrist?
No, I just want people to leave me alone. Stop stealing my money and leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone.
Ah, lib-right, the famous lib-right.
What the fuck's that?
Libertarian right.
What is that?
Like libertarianism.
Like why? I have a question. Why do we have to categorize each other? That's so broad.
Libertarians just say that they want the government to leave them alone. They want this to leave them alone. So yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a category, but sure, yeah.
That's actually what liberalism used to be.
Yeah, classical liberalism,
right.
Which is now the new modern right libertarianism. I know classical liberalism, the John Locke, people like that. I know.
Yeah, why can't we steal that word back?
I don't know. I used to be a classical liberal myself.
Then what happened?
I turned into an anarcho-capitalist.
Why?
Because I think that the classical liberalism will eventually. I read Anatomy of the State by Murray Rothbard, and I realized that we don't really need a state. But
you are probably one of the more intelligent people I've talked to on here because you've actually read something.
No, I have a lot of shit. Look, I'm gonna. I have a few
especially by Murray Rothbard. It's amazing when I come across people who have read Murray Rothbard or
von Mises here.
Ludwig von Mises or Frederick Hayek or.
Oh, this is a more left market anarchist book, but it's still pretty cool. And then here another one, Oh no, this is another anarchist book. This is anarcho-capitalist stuff. Whatchamacallit? Oh, this is Thomas Sowell. If you know Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell is great. He's such a brilliant mind. It's unfortunate that no one's following in his footsteps. That he's just gonna die with all that knowledge.
Yeah, I'm 15 and I got into. He's definitely good. I mean, I got into this shit Look, I'm gonna show you. I have a bunch of. This one, Socialism by von Mises, where he lays out his basic epistemological problems of economics by von Mises, Black Rednecks, White Liberals by Sowell, and then if you know him, then you definitely know the Austrian school of Eugene Bumbawerk.
Yeah.
If you know, Bumbawerk, Positive Theory of Capital, Choice by Robert P. Murphy. If you know P. Murphy,
yeah,
he's basically carrying the Austrian school right now.
Murphy, I absolutely do.
Yeah. Him, Walter E. Block on evictionism and such.
Tom Woods.
Tom Woods. Thomas E. Woods. He's definitely really good on war and economic history. I had one of his books, Meltdown, but my dad's reading it right now. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I have a few.
I really am impressed. You're one of the smartest people I've met on here. Usually it's dumb communists.
Yeah. Wait, look, I'm gonna I have a more shit. I have one of my
Holy
really big,
shit.
Wait. I have This one is definitely one for the. If you know Louis Rockwell.
Yeah, I know Louis Rockwell. Well, I mean, I don't know any of these people personally, but I know of all these people. Yeah.
Yeah, Louis H. Rockwell. Speaking of liberty, I have a. Where's my Handsome and Hopper? Oh yeah, Anatomy of the State by Rothbard. This is the one that turned me kind of. Where's the other one? Fucking shit. Where's the? Oh yeah, wait. Oh wait, right here. Oh yeah, Handsome and Hopper. You can't go wrong with a little bit of him. Getting libertarianism right.
All right, so let me ask you.
Yeah.
You obviously know the Federal Reserve.
Oh yeah. I read it.
Obviously know all about that, and you know about how important interest rates are. And
oh yeah, the Austrian business cycle.
Yeah, the business cycle and everything.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve artificially lowering interest rates by monetary expansion and shit, thus creating malinvestments, then creating an economic boom, which then has to be liquidated.
Have you noticed that the housing market is like booming right now? As everybody is losing their job, there is going to be the housing market is going to crash again because there's no way this is sustainable. These people, it's the payments have been deferred. A lot of them, especially with the rules of no eviction, that now the homeowners are carrying the bill for their tenants. And it's being deferred or paid right now, so then the effects of a crash is not felt as much. But man, as soon as people start getting evicted and foreclosed on, this whole thing's gonna come crashing down.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely this is gonna turn into something bad, especially there's actually a Georgian, if you know the Georgian school, there was a good he used the Austrian business in 1997. He predicted the crash. He used the Austrian business cycle with some of his with some economic history from his school. And it was this was like in 1996. He said in 2007 to 2008 there's going to be a crash, a housing crash. And he talked about the Austrian business cycle. And Paul Krugman, he wanted one. Funnily enough, Mr. Krugman wanted one, a fucking crash.
Look up a video, Paul versus Paul.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that one.
Oh, Ron Paul versus Paul Krugman.
Yeah,
man,
I think
so. When was that? That was 8 years ago? You didn't even know any of this 8 years ago. That's crazy. 8 to 12 years ago. I remember Ron Paul was running for president. That was a very interesting time.
8 to 12 years ago, I was a baby.
All of this that you're talking about was like in the mainstream because Ron Paul was in all the debates and stuff like that.
Ron Paul could have saved us. I think he could have. I think he definitely could.
I think the best position for him is to be chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Oh yeah. I mean, he won't be chairman for long. But,
no, he would put himself out of work.
yeah. I think. But no, yeah. The chairmen of the Federal Reserve is just they're clueless. They keep they don't understand the dangers of all of this, and even this is why I used to be a Friedmanite, because I got into this 6 months ago, or when the quarantine started, and so like.
Wait, you started this when the quarantine started? Like reading all these books and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know anything before. I just didn't know anything.
What?
I didn't know anything
This is just in 2020?
2020, yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, like during, say, I think May, April.
Did you read all those books in that time?
Yeah, no, I read a lot of them. So I'm gonna show you all the books that I read. This one is another one, Not So Great Society Act, but I didn't read that too fully yet. Let me show you the ones that I did read. So I read Chaos Theory, P. Murphy. I read Epistemological Problems of Economics by von Mises. But my book that really got me on my Austrian knowledge, that really showed me everything about the Austrian school, was Robert P. Murphy's Choice. Then I read into some philosophy, and then I read Theory and History this is actually a book I read as well. So I read that, and then I read Souls. Where's Discrimination and Disparity? I have Souls, Discrimination and Disparity. I read Anatomy of the State. I read where's my other one? Getting Libertarianism Right by Hans Hermann Hoppe. Where's my other shit? This one's like this one is not as known as of a book. It's called Economic Perspective. And it talks about, it goes into praxeology, it goes into the study of human action. So this is another good one that I read into. Watch him call it. Oh yeah, I also read into The Enterprise of Law. This is a more anarchist book that talks about like the history of like voluntary communities and such before the government got involved. And then I read a lot of this book, but I haven't finished it because it's more of like a textbook in a sense. Speaking of liberty, but a lot of my information also came from like Mises Institute articles and shit. So that's where I really started. Oh yeah, and I read Economics in One Lesson was my first book. Which my obviously the great Hazlitt.
So what got you started on reading these?
So whatchamacallit, what really got me started on reading it was a funny thing enough, I downloaded TikTok right a few months ago, and I saw somebody on my For You page, and they were talking about because before this I was a little bit like, I was like a Trump liker guy. I like Trump. I was like, oh, Biden sniffs kids, Bernie's a socialist, fuck him, everything, and Trump. And then I was like Trump, and but then I didn't really know too much. So I saw this guy, and he was like, oh, and he's talking about how, he was like making a response videos to somebody, and he was like, oh, you can get these Trump supporters, but these Thomas Sowell heads you can't catch with that, like with that bullshit, like whatever he was talking about. And he pulled out a book of basic economics. I was like, yo, who's this guy Thomas Sowell? So then I was like, yo, who's this? So then I started reading into Thomas Sowell. And then I read a little bit of his article, like some things he was talking about, and I was like, you know what? I'm ordering 2 of his books. So I ordered Discrimination and Disparity, and then I ordered Black Rednecks and White Liberals. I opened Discriminations and Disparities, didn't understand shit. So I was like, you know what? I have to actually like research into this before, because he was talking about a bunch of theories I didn't understand. I didn't even know what the word prerequisite meant. And then so I was like, so I had to, after like first, then I got the EPUB of Henry Hazlitt's Economics in One Lesson. Basically, just obviously expanding off of like Frederick Bastiat's Seen and the Unseen. But no, yeah. So I got that. I started reading into a lot of Mises Institute articles. What really helped me was Mises Boot Camp. Like I think the first thing by Robert P. Murphy. Then that helped me a lot. Then I understood.
So did you enroll in the Mises Institute at all, even online?
No, I haven't enrolled in it. I want to soon, but I mean, I don't know, but I don't really know like the ins and outs of how to do things. I'm only 15, so I don't know if I.
Well, they're in Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, Auburn, Alabama.
See?
Yeah,
I know some stuff.
but yeah, so no, but and yeah, I'm not anywhere close to Auburn, Alabama. So
there's on the Mises YouTube channel. There's a couple of videos named the same. It's called "What Is Money?"
I watched that a few days ago.
It's very interesting, and you know what? I asked this question to these people on here who don't have a clue about anything. I ask, "What is money?" And they go into all the subjective things of it's the root of all evil and this and that, and
yeah. And it's really
it is interesting when you break it down, like what is money, because everyone has a different perception of what money is to them and not what it actually is,
So like I mean Choice by Robert P. Murphy really put this like into, he basically said money was just an indirect commodity, right? Indirect commodity in the sense that people give money value because they see what they can get for themselves with this money, right? And then obviously it gets created, and he's like, this seems circular, but I'm gonna go into that in a second, but obviously how money was created was just as a universal means of exchange. It was inefficient for barter systems for barter societies to work or to be on a mass scale, because you have to find somebody who like this. I forgot, I was watching a Learn Liberty thing, and they bring up 2 problems with the barter system, and then how money solved these problems, so why money got created. But money
wasn't created. It happened. It was a median of exchange, because if I have apples, you have oranges, and you don't want my apples, you want bananas, I gotta find some guy that has bananas who wants apples to give the bananas for your oranges, and it could take a year before I actually get the fucking oranges.
That's the problem I was thinking of with the Learn Liberty bring. I forgot the exact name for it, but no, yeah.
Right.
So there was a bunch of problems with the barter system, and a median of a new median of exchange solved those problems, right?
But here's where we went wrong, though. The item that's used in the median of exchange has to have value itself, or else it's worthless.
Yeah, that's
or
why.
else it's just fantasy. It's like fiat currency.
Yeah, like fiat,
money.
The Federal Reserve notes that don't do that are really just bullshit. That's why we started off with things that like that's why in a lot of societies, obviously, like little gold coins in the societies that were rich with gold. In other societies, it was either, I think it was seashells, things like that, right, as a medium of exchange that they saw.
Cow manure. Which
Yeah,
used
cow
as
manure.
money. But all of those failed because they didn't have value in and of itself. Gold and silver has always prevailed.
Yeah.
Throughout history, just because of its value. And now some of it is perceived value, but nowadays I would argue it's more valuable, especially with silver, because there's a lot of health and industrial uses for gold and silver. As before, it wasn't. It was just that you had to mine it to produce more of it rather than printing it, which is easy to print. But mining actually takes resources to make money. So that's why it retained its value and always has.
Yeah, that's why this. I was actually I was reading into the Hayakian proposal, right, a few days ago, and in how he talks about, but it's basically like just obviously private banks with their own currency, things like that, right? But whatchamacallit, what was I saying? But yeah, so fuck. And yeah, so wait, what's that? Oh, that's your thing,
right? So normally when I'm talking to a Marxist, I go with the whole shitradio.com thing because I have that domain name too. But this is TreubigShow.com. We're broadcasting the audio version of it, but there's a chat room. I just wanted to give that to you in case we get disconnected, because I love talking to people like you, because there really isn't many who actually go out and learn this stuff.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I mean, a few days ago, actually yesterday, I had a debate on like a YouTube debate on why we should privatize all schools. And of course, my two biggest points were, well, first we had to identify the problem of public schools, or just government-run industries in general, which obviously is profit and loss. They don't have the profit and loss incentive, and number two, they don't even have the necessary information, even if they did have this profit, because they're not part of the market. A coercive force going into a voluntary society can't have the market price of information to know what the consumers most value or most want within there. They don't have the necessary information, so it won't be as efficient. But my biggest thing was the profit and loss. So when I brought this up, they were like, no, let's go to an example of Chile, and I was like, really, Chile? I was like, what, aren't 70%? Aren't they 70% subsidized by the government in Chile? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So they lack the profit and loss incentive. The vast majority of their funding, of how they get paid, of everything, comes from the government.
Right.
That's what, so I was like, this obviously lacks a large portion of profit and loss, or it has much less of an incentive, right? It still can have a tiny incentive, but it has much less of an incentive. And everybody in the comment sections of the thing were like, what, of course there should be public schools, there should, like, everybody and we were me and my partner were basically debunking everything they were saying, especially with I don't even know. They just didn't have really good responses, and then we got into the ethics of it and utilitarianism and how we even thought it could be a good. We put the utilitarian view on it, on how the von Mises kind of view, the active utilitarian, of how it will give the most amount of people the best amount of the best product, right? It will give the most utility, the best utility to the most amount of people, right? But
now here is something that I have come across, especially with what's been happening today, with the whole thing with Black Lives Matter and racism and stuff like that. So, and also including hate speech. So there's a lot of people who think hate speech needs to be banned. that we need to have laws against hate speech and racism and all of that. And my response to them is that if the government is racist, that's wrong. If individuals are racist, that's freedom. Now, does the free market stop racism?
Oh yeah. Oh, wait, you want me to answer that, right?
Yes.
So with the free market, I would say, I would take the deontological point and say I don't give a fuck. But we can, but that's kind of, but I say it does, right?
But
So we go-
this the reason why it matters is because it matters a lot to these people.
Yeah. I know. So
Even though you and I don't give a shit, it matters a lot to them.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to kind of take this consequence from this point and put it, but right. So basically, what I would say is I would take a historical view. So Walter E. Williams has a great. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I've read Walter E. Williams, if you know him, Race and Economics.
He's good.
And he really talks about how the government had to intervene within the create the Davis-Bacon Act 1938. Even unions were created to outprice the black man out of the market because they. Obviously, minimum wage makes it easier and cheaper for businesses to discriminate, especially in the 1930s.
Yeah, the minimum wage is just horrendous. It's so funny. It's so funny that the people who are fighting for a raise in minimum wage are the same ones that are going to be priced out of the market.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. But no, yeah. So I basically say how in a voluntary market, the black man was doing so great even in these times, or not doing so great, but was progressing at an increasing amount. So much that the government got threatened and had to try to outprice them coercively from the job market, right? And so I took that economics and I was like, okay, so let's see why this happens, why this occurs, and why in the market. Number one, the only color people see in the market is green, right? Or green. Well, obviously, I hope it's not green. I hope it's yellow. Fuck the Federal Reserve notes. But other than that, let's just use that. But yeah. So the only color they see is green, right? And also to discriminate against somebody, even in these sundown towns, right? Especially with the increase in technology and an increase, we still believe that there will be some discrimination. You can't stop all of it, but it will be to such a low amount because, say, Facebook Lives or exposing people's businesses or restaurants or whatever it is for not serving you will play a huge factor. Number one, say if they don't, even if in that say if the previous I just stated fails, that they don't care just about money, right? And also with the progressing society, etc., is another factor that goes into it. So all of these different things are factors that kind of go into it, right? And even just in economic history, we see that this occurred still because there was these racist times, but obviously not at an insane amount because the government had to. We all I have to say is who put in these racist laws? Who enacted this racism? Was it the voluntary market? Because a marketplace is just voluntary exchange. Was it the voluntary marketplace or was it the coercive government? It was
100% government.
Yeah, that's usually what they'll say.
But this is the problem. This is one of the biggest problems that I see today, is that let's take for instance. I don't know if you remember. This was quite a while ago, or if you even knew about it. The baker that refused to bake the cake for the gay couple.
Yeah.
So that started a lawsuit. Now, that would be equivalent to a bar owner putting up a sign saying whites only.
Yeah.
That in freedom should not be illegal. What freedom is that someone is so appalled by that they start a bar or a cake shop right next door and say, we accept everybody. That's the free market that is solving social problems. And we're not going to government to be oppressive and tyrannical over the social problems.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh, well, of course, yeah, we completely agree.
Okay.
yeah, we completely agree. But or else I mean, whatchamacallit? Well, yeah, no, I would completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think that I have this argument with the Marxists all the time that they want the government to regulate what offends people. That's what I don't understand. Like, who cares if someone's doing stuff that's offensive?
Yeah,
a lot of people are doing things that are offensive to me. Well, really, not really. I really don't give a shit what people do. But if it offended me, then I would just, go our separate ways, and you do the offensive thing, and I'll do my own thing. Like, why don't we live in a world like that?
Yeah, I mean, well, whatchamacallit, I completely agree. I think I think just because something like offends me or offending somebody is such an arbitrary term, that can be used to justify so much things or so much involvement within the market that it's so arbitrary to state, oh, because this offends me, because a lot of things can offend somebody. We should that doesn't mean we should create laws to enact what offends somebody. Right
now, have you seen Mark Zuckerberg testifying?
Oh yeah,
in front of Congress. So he wants regulations, right? That's what he's calling for. Okay, so what have you learned in all the reading that you've done so far when an entity asks the government to regulate themselves?
Yeah.
All right. What does that usually? What alternative motive does Zuckerberg have for calling on regulations on himself?
Maybe to take out all of this competition that might enter the market.
Absolutely. You know how hard it is for me to argue this point to people.
Oh no, yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Yes, it is insane.
Yeah, I point to the insane bit. Like all of these big. It depends the industry, but especially with the medical industry and insulin and such, the insane patents that they had to create these artificial monopolies. With Amazon taking getting billion-dollar bailouts, lobbying for these insane regulations that will create artificial barriers of entry for new competition to enter the market. And it's like and it's kind of a hard point to get across to these people that think we live in this free market capitalist thing, and it's like it's a pretty simple concept to grasp that a lot of people just don't grasp. But
yeah, you look at San Francisco, for example. There were the dog walking companies were calling for regulations stopping people from walking dogs for money without licenses, and it's like you're asking for regulations because they can afford it now. They had the easy way in. No regulation. Now they're making money. They have the money to pay for the regulation to crush their competition. I don't understand why people don't see that. It's insane to me how people don't see that.
For sure. It's oh no, yeah.
That's also the fight with YouTube as far as, them banning people.
Oh yeah, the big conservatives. Where's these conservatives that call themselves free marketeers when they're trying to?
They want regulations. What the hell is going on?
Mr. Dennis Prager, who's this big capitalist lover. Mr. Dennis Prager testifying against YouTube, if they don't want to stream your videos, they shouldn't have to fucking stream your videos, because they.
All right. Well, this is the problem with that. Mm-hmm. All right. So the problem with that is the laws that exist now, such as my website is a user-based website. So if someone posts copyright material on it or posts criminal material on it, because it's user-based, I'm not liable for that. And when the copyright holder or law enforcement notifies me that it's there, by the letter of the law, I have to remove that. So that's by law. So I'm not responsible for it, but when I'm notified of it, it has to be removed. Now that is a protection only for user-based indiscriminate sites. It is not a protection for, let's say, the New York Times. The New York Times is an editor. They decide what content gets put on prior to it getting put on, and also after. So that's the difference. The argument is, does YouTube get to decide who's on their platform, what views are portrayed on their platform, and still have the protection of the public forum?
Yeah. The public. Okay. No, now I agree with you. The public forum is definitely a good point in the PragerU case, but how they portray themselves and how.
Yes, but I disagree with what the conservatives are saying as far as what needs to be decided is if the actions that YouTube is taking falls in the current law. We shouldn't be talking about new laws.
Yeah. We shouldn't be creating new regulations for YouTube. We should be taking them away from being this public forum that they perceive themselves to be.
But ultimately, we as the consumers need to just quit going there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's another thing I don't understand. If people hate Facebook so much and what they're doing, but then you say that it's like necessity for everyday life, It's not. You can buy your own server. And there's plenty of software that does the same stuff. Like right now, I'm broadcasting to my server, which my website's on my server. Everything's on my server. If I get taken off somewhere, I'm still broadcasting. Like it's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
So why can't people build their own thing?
Yeah. I agree. I think it's harder to build your own thing in this crony system that we're in, and I think it's harder to build your own brand and make it big. But I agree. I agree generally.
Well, if everyone, all right. So if a lot of people were to pull out of YouTube and Facebook and create their own thing, and then a lot of people followed, like big YouTube channels or big, lots of follows on Twitter or whatever, and took groups of people out, it can be done.
Yeah,
I don't see how it can't be done. Crazier things have happened.
Wait, I would like to ask you, how many people on your live show right now?
I don't know.
Oh, you can't tell?
Not right now, no.
Okay. But no, yeah. So whatchamacallit. But no, yeah. I see your thing. I see that it's a whatchamacallit. It's a, and you have all your past broadcasts on here. Yeah, it's a pretty cool forum. Whatchamacallit. But yeah, let me go right there. But yeah, no, it's a pretty cool forum. I agree.
Oh, thank you.
But no, yeah. So, but I mean, just in general, a lot of the things that I try to fight for in general, a lot of people don't see it. A lot of people, and now even more, as Thomas Sowell stated, more and more people are going on their quest for cosmic justice, if you will. But like his book title about social justice and stuff.
Yeah.
But and they want more government to solve their problems. When really, who's the cause of these problems that you're having? Like who's the main cause of these problems? And I'll say a lot of it is big business, but guess why these businesses are doing it, and guess how these businesses are able to do it? Oh, it always goes back to the government. Okay. It always goes back to the government, right?
Yeah.
So
there's no customer service anymore. That's because of the government. They're all protected, so it's to hell with you. You got to pay us anyway.
Yeah, their profit and loss motive, like a lot of these businesses, they have really no profit and loss motive, because if they're failing, they can call their lobby, and they can just lobby to their best buddies over there at the government. But no,
100 years ago, people went above and beyond to serve other people for peanuts. Because that's how you made a living. You made a living breaking your back, helping other people. That's how you made a living. And we don't have the little mom and pop stores anymore, but that's because of government. Government has regulated all of those little businesses away. Well, a lot of them. I mean, there's still a ton of them, but it's increasingly difficult to start a business. Well, hey, if you want to log into the website, there's a chat room. I also have a phone number. If you're ever on here and you hear me talking to some Marxist, you can call.
And I can and debunk them.
Right.
And but no, just have a conversation with them. But no, wait, I'm on your thing and I don't see a chat room. I don't see the chat room.
Oh, you gotta log in.
Oh, okay. But no, I mean, it was good talking to you, man.
All right, good talking to you. And keep reading. That's great. It's a breath of fresh air to finally talk to someone who has a clue.
yeah. Thank you. I definitely will. I won't go on this quest for cosmic justice. But yeah, no, have a good night, man.
All right, you too. Bye. There he goes. Hey, if you're listening, this will replay as well on here, so you can listen to our conversation if you'd like, and then also the future ones. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. So what's on your mind?
Nothing much. Did you hear WAP yet?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No.
Why? It's so good.
Okay. That's
honestly song of the year.
I only listened to I watched maybe half the video and turned it off.
Oh, it got better. You missed the best part. They go into
radio. I probably didn't.
Here, sing. This is your chance.
Oh, is this live?
Yes.
So, I could be famous.
Could be.
Eh.
And gone. Hello. Goodbye. No talk. You get skipped. And moving right along. All college people. Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
you're on the radio?
Right. What's on your mind?
Hey, everybody, it's Devin. I'm kidding. Nothing's on my mind. What's on your mind?
Well, bring up a topic. Something that you seen on the news or anything.
Have you ever been to a festival?
What kind of festival?
Rap.
No.
Hip-hop.
No, not rap or hip hop. I've been to a tractor pull.
What?
A tractor pull.
What's that?
Where extremely modified diesel tractors and trucks pull a trailer that has a moving weight on it, and they try to see how far they can get before the weight digs them into the ground.
That seems really weird. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, just look on YouTube for tractor pull. They're actually really fun.
Well, where are you?
America.
Yeah, but like, I'm in California, so I don't think we have that.
I'm sure they do somewhere. Well, they probably all moved out of California. Probably all went to Texas.
Yeah, for real. That's why I'm like, I don't know if we have that.
Texas is going to be the new California. That's a bummer.
Ew, no, it's not.
Yeah, all the rich people are moving from California and going to Texas.
Yeah, but like, it's so hot over there.
Oh, I was just talking about one of your representatives. I heard this today. Let's take a look. California. I will tell you. Hold on one moment.
What's it like? What even is a representative? Like,
what? Like the House of Representatives and the Senate. You have representatives.
I that, but now I forgot it all, so I don't know what a representative is.
Someone who is elected to represent you.
Like the president or the state?
Local government, like a mayor. Then you have county government, and
I feel all of that is just old people. Like I feel like they need somebody that like is not about to die. Like all of the people are old, and they're making decisions for us. Like that makes no sense. Like, don't you have dementia? Like,
so who should be president?
Maybe somebody like in their 30s.
Someone in their 30s?
Mm-hmm.
Who's in their 30s that would be a good president, you think?
I only know like, I don't know. Like, what do you have to do to be president? Like,
You have to be 35 years old, at least.
and they always go with like really old people. You know?
Yeah, like in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, like what the fuck is up with that? That's old.
So we need someone to represent us, huh?
Yeah.
The young folk, and they always use the word folk. Yeah, the young. What's up, young folk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want any folk talk. We want. What's up,
Because
homie?
They also are all really old and have a lot of money, and they're not very supportive with like low income people. It's all run by like rich old people. Like that's what's weird. It's like super weird. You know?
Yeah, and they're out of touch. They don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. They don't even know like this generation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. They don't,
Being
except for Donald Trump.
What?
Donald Trump knows. He uses Twitter. He has to know what the kids like.
Yeah, but like, I bet he doesn't follow no like meme accounts. You know?
Wait, he is the meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think he
just
went
want-
above and beyond. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to follow the meme account. He
So no
is the
matter-
meme account.
Wait, so no matter what you do, like you could work in a restaurant your whole life, and then once you're 35, I could run for president.
Yes.
Like, I could.
Anyone who's 35 years old, 35 years or older, can run for president at any time. Well, I mean,
How
every
do
4
you
years.
do that?
You have to register with the state or with the federal government. You register saying that I'm running for president. Anyone can do it.
But why does how come you don't ever see I don't know?
Because it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to actually have a campaign to get the word out that you're running.
Okay. True, rich old people.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, I don't even know nothing about.
You know,
I just know all the bad shit.
you know about all the bad shit?
Mhm.
Like what bad shit?
Like how Trump is a racist and he is also a pedo. So that's what else can I say, you know? And I know Joe Biden or something has a memory problem or something, and what the fuck? We don't need that. We don't need anybody, honestly. I feel like we would be good without it. You know?
Now, who said that Donald Trump is a racist?
Because of what he said and everything.
No, I'm saying who said that?
Yeah, multiple people.
Yeah, where?
Everywhere.
Okay.
If you look up, if you look it up, you'll find so much.
Yeah. What place?
What?
Where did you look it up? Is what I'm saying.
Anywhere, dead ass, look anywhere. Anywhere, ask somebody on the street, hey, is Donald Trump a racist? They'll be like, yeah, unless they support him. You know? That's how it works.
Wait,
But anyway,
so
support nobody that is racist or nobody that is a pedo.
yeah, but Joe Biden is.
What?
Joe Biden is.
I don't support him. If
Oh,
he's rapey,
who do you support?
Nobody.
Why don't you vote? Why don't you vote for yourself?
I could do that.
Are you 35 and older?
No.
Oh. Well, you always got Kanye.
I don't want him either.
Let's see.
He's kind of crazy. We all know that.
Well.
But that would be cool to have the Kardashians film in the White House. I want to see that.
Oh yeah, Kim Kardashian.
Uh-huh. They'd film Keeping Up with the Kardashians at the White House.
Yeah. That might not be good though.
Why not?
Because they're sworn to secrecy.
What's that?
Some stuff is classified. They can't let that out on film.
What about in their room?
Oh, only in their room? Not unofficial business?
Yeah, not like that, you know. Just chilling, in
Okay, yeah.
You know, just walking around having dinner at the White House, you know.
What do you think they'd have for dinner at the White House? McDonald's?
Chef.
Oh yeah, the White House chef. So would they film on Air Force One?
What?
On Air Force One,
What's that?
an airplane.
I thought you were talking about the shoe.
What?
Air Force One's the shoe.
Oh, that's actually an airplane.
Okay.
So we have a branch of the military is the Air Force, and they number their planes. So it's the plane the president flies on is number 1.
Why do they do that?
It's Air Force One.
How many people work for that? Like, what the heck?
I don't know. A lot.
I feel like you'd be like only 12. Like 12 would fit the whole schedule.
For Air Force One? I don't understand. Whose schedule?
All the people employed for Air Force One.
It's the Air Force.
Yeah, their job.
Yeah. So they like fly military planes.
I'm dead.
I know.
Well, like, I don't know. I think that would be cool for like a good week, like to have a vacation at the White House.
Yeah, but
And then
wherever you want to go, you just hop on Air Force One and no airport or nothing. You just
That's
you get police escort through the streets. Everyone, the police close off any street that you go down ahead of time.
well, like people don't even like police, so like you're more of a threat. I would like not ever come out. I would just like.
So if you were president, you would just drive your own car?
No, I would just get everything Ubered to me, and then I would
Yeah, but you would need the police to go get the stuff that was Ubered to you.
Yeah, they could. Well, I won't go out of my house. They could do it.
But you wouldn't be at your house. You'd be at the White House.
Yeah, that's their house.
Right. Well, no, that's our house. They're just staying in it temporarily.
Who thought of that? Like, why don't they make it bigger and like more modern? Like, why are they not renovating it at all? Who thought of that? Like, let's just keep this here forever.
According to the public online database maintained by the Federal Election Commission, 538 people have registered to run for president in 2020 as of Tuesday evening. So if you were 35...
But then how come who's picking only like the 5 or 3 people they pick?
Well, so this is the thing. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party, they don't control anything. They just have a lot of support. So the parties, we don't pick parties to be president. We pick individuals. So really all 538 are eligible. It's just that no one knows about them.
Yeah, that's weird.
And some of them we do know, like the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, the Constitutional Party, the Socialist Party, the Communist Party. Like there's a whole bunch of parties. Some of them we do know, but we're stuck in this two-party belief, Republican-Democrat thing. So that's why the two people who are supported by Democrat, one by Republican, are typically the ones who get elected. Because of a belief, not because it's the law.
So weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We do it to ourselves.
Well, and like, how come they can't just like make more money if we're in debt?
Well, they can. They're doing it. $1 million a second.
Well, then why are we in debt?
Because we're spending more than $1 million a second.
Oh, okay. Well, who's in debt? Like, who's in debt?
The country.
That makes no sense.
Why?
Like, each individual is in debt, or
Yes, all of us are on the hook to pay for the country's debt.
I'm not debt. I'm not in debt.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Are you an American citizen?
Yeah.
You're in debt.
Yeah, but I'm not. Like, I have money.
Right. Well, just because you're in debt doesn't mean you don't have money.
I feel like that's what it means.
No. I mean, I have debt, but I have money.
I thought debt always meant money.
Yeah, I bought a house. So therefore I had a loan to buy the house. So I'm in debt. But I have a bank account that has money in it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's different. But, like, I don't have nothing to pay off, so I'm not in debt. I'm helping America.
No, you're in debt. Do you pay taxes?
Yeah, no, I don't. They don't ever ask me to pay. They give me money.
Who gives you money?
The government.
Oh, so you're stealing my money.
No, they're giving it to me for me working.
So you work for the government?
No, I work at restaurants, and then they act like they work. They act like I work for them, so then they take my money and then they give some of it back. They act like it. They're like, oh, we're gonna take this.
Who does?
The government. The taxes.
Right. You don't get it all back.
I know, but I still get some.
Right. So, therefore, you're paying the government.
Yeah, because they're forcing me to.
Right. They're forcing you to pay off this debt.
So it didn't used to be like this?
No, it did not. No, the IRS came about in 1913, along with the Federal Reserve, which is a central bank. But there was no income tax prior to 1913.
Why would they do that?
Because
they could
they
figure out how to
suck.
make their own money.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah, like what the heck?
Abolish the IRS is what I say.
Yeah, I agree with you. No tax.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
If they want money, they can go out and raise money. Voluntary contributions, not forced theft.
They could do it.
It's theft, isn't it?
Uh-huh. They're
Yeah.
stealing from us.
Right. I agree with you. They've stolen a lot from me.
Uh-huh. I hate it.
And your neighbor might be taking the money from the government to live on. Somebody who lives near you is taking money that you paid the government and taking that money to live on. So they're taking it from you. The government's taking it from you and giving it to your neighbor.
What? I don't get it. Aren't they working for their money?
Not everyone. There's a lot of people on welfare
What's that?
where they apply to the government to get money.
Well, how can I apply?
Well, I mean, you could apply for food stamps or any of that. I don't know if you'll...
Are you just talking about like unemployment, or what is welfare?
Well, that's part of it. Unemployment is part of that. So, like, people now that were making $600 a week plus unemployment, you were paying that with your taxes.
Can I get welfare for working a lot?
I don't know. No, probably not. I mean,
Well, it's like overwhelming. Like, why can't they give me some money for like a break? Like,
I don't know.
especially, that's why they're all old and they know nothing about people with low income, because they're rich as fuck. They don't care.
Who's rich as fuck?
Everybody in the government.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's
Yeah, exactly.
the federal government. I would agree.
You don't ever see nobody.
Well, I wouldn't agree. I mean, because if there's like the clerks at a courthouse are not rich. The politicians are the ones that are rich, not everybody in the government.
I think everything's so corrupt and they need to change the rules now. It's been a while.
Some anti-corruption rules.
Like, you know, the Declaration or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it's a
brilliant document.
I get it. But it should be a little bit updated now because it's been a while.
I would prefer not, because the way things are going, updated means not for the better.
Well, the low income should have a say for the new Declaration and Independence.
Low income?
What?
It basically was just saying that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think that's perfect. It didn't say that there's a right to corruption.
I don't even know what it says.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. We are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's like the first little bit of it.
I just am not for that.
You're not for that?
Well, I just blanked out, but like I just
Oh.
don't care about old documents.
Yes, but it's relative.
But not really, because I didn't have no technology or anything.
It doesn't describe what you can and cannot do.
Yes, it can.
It does not.
Yeah.
The Declaration of Independence does not describe what you can and cannot do.
But like, I don't know. It's like telling you what you can do, like shit like that.
No, it's not. What does it say that you can't do?
No, I'm saying can.
What does it say you can do?
You could bear arms.
That's the Constitution.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, that's part of the Bill of Rights. The Second Amendment of the Constitution in the Bill of Rights.
Dude, you should be a history teacher.
Why?
Not even because you have all these facts, like you know it all. Like if somebody give you a test on this, you'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, A, B, or C.
Well, I mean, you could learn it. Why don't you learn it?
I already did, and I didn't care about it.
Yeah.
hmm
Now, what's wrong with the Second Amendment?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's just like telling you what you could do. Like they should update it.
No, it's not telling us what we can do. It's telling the government what they can do. So it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed by government. So it's telling them that they can't.
Who wrote this?
Huh? Who wrote it?
Yeah.
The founders of the country. It was a group of people.
Or the people that are in stone.
Well, they're all dead now.
The people in like Mount Rushmore's type shit.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Right. Like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. They all had a hand in it.
That's weird. That was way too long ago.
Yes, but how? If it's still relevant, then why is it a bad thing to follow it?
You're not changing nothing. You're just like maybe every 10 years make a new one, or every 100 years.
Yeah, but what's wrong with it that we need to make a new one?
The date.
That's it? Well, we can scribble out 1776 and put 2020.
That is so fucking long ago. Dude, yeah, they need a new one.
You're part of this. What do you mean
Yeah,
they?
whatever.
Wait,
what?
What do you mean they? You're part of this. You said they need a new one.
The people that wrote it.
The people that wrote it need a new one?
It was just like presidents and shit. They need to do the next presidents and let them make a new one.
Yeah, but then we're at the will of the president rather than at the will of the idea.
Well, how come their idea stuck really long?
Because it's the best idea that promotes freedom. It's the only idea that promoted the most freedom. What's not free?
A lot of things I just can't even like wrap my mind about it. I have to like think about it.
So the Second Amendment is not freedom?
I don't know. I don't like guns or nothing.
All right, so this was the whole point of it. Off the top of my mind, off the top of my head, it says this: a well-regulated militia being necessary for a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Man, I've not recited that in a long time. I don't know if I forgot anything or not in it, but so basically, for your state to remain free from intruders that may come to do you harm, everyone should be armed. So then, if in the case there is an emergency like that, the entire populace will be ready to go to maintain the freedom of their state. That was the point of it. That was the whole point of it.
Whack.
How is it whack?
I don't know.
What about the First Amendment? Do you like that one?
I don't know what it is. What is it?
It's about free speech. You have the right to say what you want. The right to practice whatever religion you want to. For the people. For you. For me.
Yeah, but if I say, they still get mad. Like, it's not really like...
Who gets mad?
Everybody, like cops. Like, if you say that to them, they still get mad.
Say what to them?
Like, fuck you.
Well, it's disrespectful, but you have a right to say it. The middle finger, the Supreme Court has said giving someone the middle finger is free speech. Cops or police specifically.
My friend was like, can you hit me with your car? I was like, yeah, why?
So did you do it?
No, I would never do that.
Why not?
Because I don't want to hurt nobody.
That's a good thing.
Like, that would not be fun.
You're right.
I feel a lot of people's, what's it called? I have a lot of empathy, so that would not be good.
So are you going to college?
I just put this so I could talk to people, like, that weren't either, like, really young or, yeah, whatever, just, like, my age group.
Okay. Which is?
I'm 22.
Alright. 22. I'm not 22. How old do you think I am?
In your 30s?
Okay, you're a good judge. Yes.
Okay, good.
Do I really look like I'm in my 30s?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, when I look at pictures of myself when I was younger, I can't believe I look like that, because I feel like I've looked like this my whole life. You know, you don't really realize what changes your looks are. You know.
Yeah.
I guess I will notice maybe in the next 30 years, I'll notice the changes a lot. A lot more than the first 30.
Oh, I know.
Are you ready to be 60?
No. Hell no.
Yeah, you know it's gonna happen.
I'd rather, like, live for a really long time and experience a lot of things than die at a young age.
So you want to be 60?
Not necessarily, but you do a lot of things up till there.
Yeah. Wow. I agree. And it goes quick.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird, like, weird as fuck.
I remember when I turned 21, and it's been a breeze ever since. I don't know where the last 10 years has gone.
Yeah.
Just wait, you'll be 32 here in a blink of an eye.
Dude, I just wanna, like, fucking have my fucking soulmate like me back.
Send your soulmate a box of chocolates.
Why
not?
Because I need it.
Well,
Watch.
I don't know how to help you there.
Watch. Ready? Exactly.
Nothingness?
Nothingness.
Why don't you change the ringtone?
Why?
So then it's a little more pleasant while you're waiting.
I'm okay with it.
Like, baby, we ain't gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We ain't gonna take it
Dude, you know
anymore.
what I hate? Let's bring up a topic.
Which one?
Fuck, what was I gonna say? Guys, like, can be hoes, and it's like, okay, but when girls do it, it's like, cut. To the streets, like, shit like that. And it's like,
Who says?
what the heck? A lot of guys, dude, like, so many are like that.
So you want equality in slut making?
No, because I am not. I'm far from that. Like,
I
trust me.
never said that you were, but
No, but
a guy could do the same thing if he sleeps with every single drunken lady from the bar.
But it's like they take it like it's okay, like you do you, and then it's like when it comes to girls, it's like you're a fucking hoe, like you fucking slut, like it's like what the hell?
Who cares? You won't give a shit in 10 years?
Yeah, I don't give a shit now.
All right. Good reason. I don't know. Who cares what people think? People think things. That's why I understand young people. I feel like I'm old now.
What do you mean?
I feel old saying that. That's what my parents
What?
used to, that's what
Yeah,
my
yeah.
parents used to say. I don't understand your generation. Why is it that young people are offended so easily?
Well, I am a Pisces, so I'm very sensitive.
So you get offended really easily?
No, I don't get offended easily. I'm just kind of sensitive. I'm not offended easily. Like, you could offend me.
I can? You give me permission to?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not going to.
I look really whack because I just worked 8 hours.
Oh.
I mean, not just, but like.
I've been working since 5 in the morning.
Really?
Wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on. You're 3 hours behind. I'm on the East Coast, so you're 3 hours behind. 5, 4, 3, 2 in the morning for you.
It's 8.
Yeah, it's 11 for me.
Wait, what do you mean 2 in the morning?
It was 2 in the morning when I woke up and went to work. For you. I woke up at 2 in the morning. It was 5 for me. It was 2 for you. I consider starting work when I get in the car and drive the commute. That's
What do you do?
where it starts.
Where are you driving?
Manufacturing. I make things. I never went to college. Or do I want to?
Yeah, me either.
That's good. Then you'll
Well,
be debt free.
Yeah, that's what I
See?
tell people all the time.
Right. No
I'm
debt.
I'm like, you are, not me.
Right.
And people always complain about that. I'm like, well, why did you fall for that? You know, you could be successful without it. That's what I always tell people.
Right.
I hate when people like give like such a downfall on it. I'm like, dude, I went to high school. That was it.
Right. So,
Look,
are you going to work in the restaurant industry?
I'm trying to get famous, dude.
Yeah. How?
Anything, social media.
Yeah. Like, what are you trying to get famous for?
Maybe streaming.
All right. Well, we're streaming.
Okay, on what?
Shitradio.com.
What? How many listeners?
You're live on shitradio.com.
How many listeners?
Get it, baby!
Yes.
Wait, what?
I said yes.
How many people are listening?
One.
Me?
Is the loneliest number. No, I don't know. Throw a shit radio in there. So, what kind of streaming? Video games?
Yeah, video games or just talking to people.
Yeah? Like what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, but I'm not streaming. Like, I've done like multiple apps where you like literally just talk to people, and if they like you, and if they like gift you.
So why don't you debate people?
What do you mean?
Like, ask people, hey, what's on your mind? And then they bring up a topic, and then you have a discussion or a debate about it.
Well, I do kind of do that. It'll be like random, like anything. You could do like comedy or like random or.
So on comedy, you just want it to be random? Like just random comedy? Yeah. I think you should do it.
Well, I have, but then I don't know if it's like I need to make a new account or what, or keep it. Like, I have like a okay following on some accounts. Like on TikTok, I have 35K, and then on Meet Me, I made up to like 200K in like gifts. And then I was too confused on the whole Twitch situation.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, they kicked me out.
Really?
Yeah. They said
heck?
that we as a community don't like you.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
This was years ago. I don't know. They didn't like me.
That's so weird.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try to sign up again so I get another one of those we hate you letters.
Yeah, that's crazy that they even said that.
Yeah, I wish I had the email. I don't have the email anymore. But all I did was talk.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I kind of do.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't like me.
I don't know. You could try it. Try it out.
Or like, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I think I would really like to do that. Like, be famous and get paid for like either YouTube or streaming.
There
or
you go.
TikTok.
Do it. You got to start with one listener or one viewer.
No, but that's what I've been trying to do.
Well, it's not easy. Anything worth doing is not easy. And it may not even come to fruition. You just got to do it because you like doing it. You got to actually like doing what you're doing, not doing it because you want to be famous. So even if nobody listens, you got to still want to do it because you like doing it.
I just need a new camera. Actually, I have a camera, but for the computer one sucks. Because I have like a MacBook Air and it's like super thin and like the camera just is so thin too. That can never be good.
Right. Well, if you want any pointers on technology. Well, not necessarily cameras. I don't buy cameras, but I know the technology side. I have a server and I do all my own stuff on shitradio.com. All right. Well, on that site, that's where I'm broadcasting. So if you want to go there, you can. There's a chat room and all that. Once you log in, I'm gonna move to the next person, but feel free to talk in there or listen to what you said or what we discussed. It'll replay.
Yeah, can you type it?
Yes. It'll go to another website called TreubigShow.com.
It will what?
It redirects to another website, which is mine. Like, I own the domain, and it goes to TreubigShow.com. That's what
This is great. This is great.
That's what the sound was.
This is fucking great. All right. Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, thanks for talking as well.
I know. A good combo
Absolutely. Good conversation.
on shitradio.com.
Right. You said it the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a boss. Like a boss. There you go.
Like a boss.
Right.
All right.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you.
You too.
You can listen. I'm gonna talk to a couple more people before I stop, and then it'll start replaying, and you'll be able to hear this if you'd like.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm down.
And there's a chat room if you log in. If you got any questions about how to do the technology side of it, not necessarily the devices, but the server side stuff, I'll answer as much as I can.
All right.
Groovy.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, have a good day, and hopefully you get in
too.
touch with your soulmate.
Thank you. Manifest it for me, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye. There she goes. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. What about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So what's on your mind? Oh, gone. Hello.
What's up, big fella?
How you doing?
Nothing, chillin'.
I said, how are you doing?
Fuck you, bitch.
How are you doing?
If I said fuck you, bitch.
Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I said fuck you, you dumb bitch.
That's your opinion.
Alright, peace out, dude.
Nobody cares about your opinion.
Your mom does.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does. Ask her.
No.
Yeah, you should probably
No one
ask her. I'll
cares.
ask her.
No, you're not
I
really
don't know if you're allowed to.
understanding that nobody cares.
She's eating my
No,
ass.
nobody cares.
That's what
No,
you
you don't
think.
understand. No one cares.
That's what you think, dude.
No, that's your opinion.
Dude, you're like 30, bro.
Anything else?
You're arguing with a kid, bro.
Anything else?
Fuck you.
He skipped. I win. Again. Hello. And gone. Moving right along. You both like college. Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. So what's on your mind?
I don't know. I was about to ask the same thing. Just trying to have some political conversation with people.
All right. Bring up a topic.
Oh boy. I'll flip the script on you. You bring up a topic.
It's tradition around here to allow the guest to bring up the topic.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I got one for you.
Okay.
So I don't know your political beliefs or anything
Right.
about you. But the concept of voting for the lesser of two evils. You familiar with that?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't vote.
You don't vote?
No.
Okay. I'm kind of curious as to what the reasoning rationale is behind that.
Because no one deserves my vote.
Fair enough. I respect that.
So does that answer your question?
That does answer my
Okay.
question. With that being said, have you ever voted?
No.
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 Would you ever vote?
Only if somebody had the same views as me.
What are those views, if you don't mind me
The
asking?
Constitution, freedom, liberty, free markets, that stuff. You know, what the country was founded on, that type of stuff. No one's for it, so a person's vote is very sacred. And when you're giving
absolutely
that
agree.
support to someone, then you're pretty much supporting their views. And I just don't support anyone's views, so I don't vote.
Okay. Would you ever consider being in politics yourself, or no?
Yeah, I would consider it.
Okay.
Like, I could run for president the next election. Not this one, the next one.
Yeah. You might as well give it a run.
Hey, there's like 538 other people doing it.
I mean, that's true. Although, for whatever reason, plenty of people like to think it's a truly a two-person race, which I don't really prescribe to that. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of that. I think that viewpoint just really reinforces a two-party system, which I think harms everybody.
It's not really a system, it's a belief.
Actually, yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. I think that people just call it a system to give it validity and reinforce it.
Well, it's this whole systematic bullshit that's going on today with beliefs of systematic whatever you want to put after that. Racism, systematic, all this. It's all system.
Yeah, I mean, people like people. I think people like just pointing to the system for a lot of things because it's an easy thing to point at. You know, just say, "Oh, the system is somewhere out there. It's just the system's fault." You know,
It's kind of like religion in a way. That religion was pretty much based on explaining the unexplainable.
Okay.
Would you agree?
That's what religion is based on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There are a lot of things that could not be explained, obviously. There still are a lot of things that can't be explained. We know a lot more now than they did when the books were written.
Right.
If we go strictly on Christianity or even, Catholics as well. So that's where I was going with that, wherever I was going. I forget how I got on that. I forget how I got on that with the whole... the system. The system's to blame, man. Well, yeah, it's just a way to explain some people's belief or hardship without actually having any evidence, any proof, or any way of proving that that's actually what's going on. The system.
And I think it's a way to just say, well, this is the system, and this has always been the system, so we're going to just maintain it, even if the system is awful and terrible. Having a system just and relying on the system just continuously reinforces a status quo.
Wow. That's very interesting because I don't fully understand why the same people, terrible people, continue to get into office. public office. Like, I don't know, you look at like Joe Biden, for instance. Like, how the hell did he spend 50 years in public office? Like, that's nuts.
I absolutely agree.
I wonder if it's just a familiar name that certain people see. Like, oh, you know, my shit sucks, but you know, just check Joe Biden again because I don't know the other guy.
Yeah, I think name recognition has a decent part of it, and I think that a lot of times it's just kind of like, all right, you're told you have to pick one of the two, whatever it is. So you're going to continue to pick one of the two, and if it comes down to the person you know versus a person you've never heard of, for whatever reason, people will accept what they know. And I also think that like many people just choose not to be part of the political process or talk about their beliefs because they feel so removed from their ideals. Like their ideals aren't represented well within the government.
So do you think people who are voting for Trump, do you think that even though the other side is very loud and vocal as of now, do you think it's the silence of the Trump side that is going to get Trump elected again?
Wait, say that last part again. Do
you think it's the people who are silent on the other side?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that are going to get Trump elected again.
So, like, the whole concept of, like, a silent majority?
Yes.
You know, I think that the silent majority exists to a certain extent, and I think that plenty of people won't come out and say, hey, I'm a Trump supporter, but would go and vote for him simply because they think that there will be social consequences for doing so. I think that exists to a certain extent. However, I think with that being said, when you have polling that shows that as of now Trump's not favored to win, I think someone is a lot more likely to say, you know, I am voting for Trump when they get a call on the phone, in terms of polling, because that's more confidential. You're not losing anything by saying that, you know.
Yeah, but this is the problem with the polls.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but I will say there are a lot of issues with polls. People misuse polls and misrepresent them all the time. Plenty of polls are conducted really poorly, small sample size, wrong sample size, all of that. But sorry for interrupting you.
Right, wrong sample size as in they don't tell you, or it's in very small print that they interviewed 70 Democrats, 20 Republicans, and 10 independents, and that's why Joe Biden's more favored. Like that, they do that type of stuff in the polls, in those polls.
I'll say this. I think that if we are going to have polls should be done with, I believe it's likely voters are the statistically like the best sample to take in terms of predicting actual election results. So I think that should be done. I think that it should be as unbiased as possible. So, I mean, if you have a state, let's say like California is predominantly Democratic state. If you poll in there, you are going to get more Democratic responses. That's just a fact. But I would say make it so you have more transparency in terms of how you're doing it, and make sure that you have more of a equitable distribution of your sample, and so you're not taking an inherently flawed sample.
Who is to do that that's not going to either, one, be biased, or two, be accused by an entire side as being biased?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I don't necessarily have an answer for that, because I think it has been long standing for people to attack polls, and I think that politicians do what they can to influence polls. And the way that a poll is presented, the question is extremely important and can actually prove a lot of bias within there. So I really don't know what the best way to do it is. I think that polls are going to exist regardless, just because it gets ratings, it gets people's attention, it's used by campaigns to plan things. I think the best way to do it is educate people on how to actually run polls fairly and use statistics correctly and try to remove as much bias as you can. Ultimately, it's never going to be a perfect system. But with that being said, I think we should try to remove and do what we can to remove as many imperfections within it as we can.
Okay, so who's going to be the educator? Someone from the liberal colleges?
Well, I think that there's something to be said for there is liberal bias on colleges. I'll absolutely give you that. However, I would say that I don't think that when you look at pure statistical principles, especially when it comes to sampling and polling, I don't think that those are inherently partisan. I think that the issue is more so in the people who would be teaching it would be partisan. So what I'm saying is, like, it's not necessarily an issue with the curriculum. It's an issue with the people that are instituting the curriculum.
Right. I would agree to an extent. There's certain classes that just, all right, like this, for example, climate change. Okay, we kind of know where that conversation is going to lean to when talking about climate change. Would you agree?
Right.
Yeah, so if the entire class is about climate change, that particular instructor is you could probably almost 100% guarantee the political leaning and bias of that particular teacher. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think in any subject you're going to have inherent bias. I think what's important though is that people recognize their own bias and are upfront and honest about it. Because I think plenty of professors I've had haven't been willing to admit that they have a bias, and I think if you don't let people know that you have a specific bias, I think that's somewhat disingenuous, as you're not giving them the true picture. I think that you should let them know what your bias is.
Now, I don't really mind that a teacher would have a certain bias, but what bothers me is that some teachers grade based on the bias. Would you agree that happens?
Yeah, I would say it happens, and I think those teachers shouldn't be teaching if they're going to do that. They should be as objective as possible.
Right. So if the paper that's supposed to be written is on climate change, and then someone has an opposing view of climate change, but was able to follow and stay within the guidelines of the paper with that view, just because the teacher doesn't agree with the view, or the teacher has strong feelings against the view, it's the actual guidelines of the paper and how it was supposed to be written that should really be critiqued rather than the view itself. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, but I do think in terms of something like climate change, it is overwhelmingly considered a real thing. I think that the data does show that.
Okay, so
but I would say
some people are going to say that
provide.
Yeah, what's causing it?
I don't think I'm qualified
Well, so
And
that's the
I would
problem.
look at the literature.
That's
Right,
the
right.
problem.
I'm not qualified to do that. But I think if I read and understood the literature and did the research, then I would be able to write on it.
All right, so here's this. Let me say this about that. When in the 90s, I remember winters in Ohio, in Northeast Ohio. It would. I remember on Halloween, it would be snowing, and I would have to wear long johns underneath my costume in the early 90s. Now it doesn't start getting cold until December. So there's no doubt that that things are changing, and we don't know if it's just. I mean, at least I don't know and I don't think they know either, because before they were talking about global cooling, and then global warming, and then climate change. It's changed so much in the last 50 years. So this is the thing about that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that the climate changes. Whether or not it's because of us, that I don't know. I don't want to completely destroy our entire livelihoods on a whim, as we've seen that a lot of whims, like what's happened with the pandemic. You know, masks are bad. Don't wear masks. You're uncool if you wear masks. And then now mandate everyone to wear a mask. That's dangerous, in my opinion, to just go off of information like that. We don't know if it's completely us. There's more forces out there than just us. Now, is burning things dirty? Yes. Will that affect our health and the health of plants and animals around us? Yes. If we're burning plastic in our backyard, yeah, that's not good. That's dirty. That's harmful. I understand that. I get that. That's all fine and good. But to say that we have to regulate cow farts, and that we need to be not, have campfires and not burn coal or gasoline ever, and stop flying planes, that's not productive to do that. And what if we're wrong?
I agree with that. Well, yeah, that is true. I will say though, but with the masks, and on the note of the pandemic, I do support mask mandates. But
okay, well,
yeah.
Hey, I want you to think about this. In a year or two, when hopefully this is behind us. See, I don't wear a mask.
I sure hope so.
I do not. I do not wear a mask. And I could be wrong. This is just something that I thought about. When you wear a mask over your mouth for hours and hours on end, the filth that's in your mouth, which everyone's mouth is just filthy.
Right.
It stays trapped all right there. And that's probably going to have a lot of adverse dental effects on a lot of people. So that's just something to consider.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen any evidence indicative of that.
Oh, I'm not saying that there is.
And so
what I'm saying is that just wait, because they've told people to not go to the dentist and to wear masks. So now no one's going to the dentist, or very few people are going to the dentist, and everyone's keeping a mask on their face. So the adverse
I think
health
very few
effects,
people are going to the. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was going to say that plenty of people aren't going to the dentist just because so many things are shut down. Personally, I've had dentist appointments rescheduled several times already throughout this. Just because, at least where I live, dental offices were closed for several months. But yeah.
Yeah, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. It's not that you were or were not allowed to go to the dentist. It's that people's mouths are dirty, and with them being covered up and being dirty and not going to the dentist to get cleanings, that's going to have adverse health effects on people in the long run. Would you agree?
My stance on that would be if there's evidence on that, data to show that, then yeah, we should look at what we can do in terms of that. But with that being said, we do know that coronavirus is a deadly a deadly disease, and we know that masks are effective to a certain extent in stopping the spread.
Who knows?
And so with the evidence that we have now, knows what?
Who knows this?
Who knows that masks are effective? Who? Literally who? The World Health Organization, National Institute of Health, the CDC. We can just go down the line. Plenty of independent scientific studies have shown that. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm describing is not going to... The evidence is not going to come clear until the evidence comes clear. And by that time, it's too late.
Right.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I think we need to do what we can with the evidence that we have at hand. Obviously, with most things in life, you get new evidence. The way that we think about things now from 100 years ago to even 50 years ago is drastically different. I think that the best thing you can do is make the decisions given the evidence that you have, and if evidence changes, then change your guidelines.
So why was it uncool?
There might be this thing
6 months
pure
ago.
Conjecture. What was uncool?
Well, so when did all this evidence come in? Just this year? That masks were good?
In specific to the SARS-CoV-2, yes, and that's because that specific strain is a new disease. However, with that being said, there's been literature out there that's quite prevalent that shows that in terms of the influenza, that masks do something, and they do help stop the spread of it. There's a reason why doctors wear it when you go to the doctors during flu season. There's a reason why they exist. It's not because they're pointless. I wouldn't be doing it if there was no reason.
My question was, why was the instructions why was our instructions at the beginning of the year to not wear masks? That they were not helpful.
I see. Like the instructions.
Yeah, we were told not to wear masks. That if you wear a mask, you are uncool. You are to be shamed for wearing a mask.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very real thing. You can look at the comments that he's put out about this. Specifically, the director and behind that was to preserve the supply for medical workers because they're the one with the highest risk of contracting it, just because they came in contact.
So basically,
with people who have it.
They admitted to being liars.
And I was absolutely. I think that they absolutely botched that, and I think I'll say this. I think a lot of the reason why people don't have faith in masks is because of that. Because they said, don't do it, and then they came around a month later and say, do it. Now, the reason why I think they did that is because they wanted to preserve it for medical workers. I think that in the long run, in the community, contradictory advice causes a lot of confusion for people, and I understand why people are confused. I understand why people have distrust in masks. That was absolutely a terrible thing for them to do, and it eroded the trust of the public.
Well, I didn't trust him to begin with, so it didn't really matter to me. I went to work every day. I did nothing. I did nothing differently.
But-
I did nothing differently. Perfectly fine. There's one person that I know that is sick that I had contact with every day, and I'm perfectly fine.
Well, you could have either A, not contracted that. That's totally possible. B, you could have denial unless you got COVID tested.
No, what I'm saying is that he's the only one. Nobody else has. Like no one else. No one else. There's like 100 people. Out of 100 people, all the people he came in contact with, nobody else is sick.
Right. And I think. Well, do you know if he tested positive?
Yes.
Okay, so he tested positive.
Right. So did the governor of Ohio.
Well, he tested positive, and later they found out that was a false positive.
Oh, okay.
That came out that same day. Because he was gonna meet with President Trump that day, and then they said, "Oh, you tested positive. You gotta get out of here." But
so how many of
just a false positive.
how many of the case numbers are false positives?
Yep. Yeah. Generally, the rate is less than 5%. It depends on what type of test I have. And we need to be careful about false positives. They are a dangerous thing, and they present uncertainty for people, and uncertainty leads to economic distress and all sorts of other issues. But we do know largely that it is pretty accurate. It's over the 95%.
That's not accurate.
You can't have a perfect test. That's just not.
Drug tests are.
What? How so?
They're 99%.
What do you mean?
Drug tests are 99% accurate.
I'm talking about specific biological tests. Just like the strep throat, this rapid strep test is not 100%. Influenza test, not 100%. It's pretty common that in terms of biological things that you get false positives, and even if it is much higher for drug tests are not 100% accurate.
That's why I said the 99%.
They may be 99%. They may be 99.5%. But they're right. There. No matter what the testing is, you will always have false positives and false negatives.
So
yeah.
Were the lockdowns necessary?
I think the lockdowns were necessary. I think that the way that they were handled, absolutely done. The whole idea was flatten the curve, right? We did it, and the whole idea was with that is, we're going to buy time to build a plan nationally and on a state and local level in terms of how we're going to deal with this, to have contact tracing and enough tests and proper protective equipment. Yet that was not done. So I would say that the state and federal government absolutely fucked up, and that if we did the lockdowns right, we could be pretty close to normal right now, but we didn't do it right, because all those things that we were supposed to do during that, in terms of governments like coming up with proper testing protocols, distributing enough tests, getting the proper supply chain issue sorted out, that just didn't happen. So I understand why people didn't like the lockdowns, because the whole purpose of it, we didn't fulfill the purpose of it. We failed, and that's part of the reason why we are where we are right now.
Well, I think most people didn't like the lockdowns because it destroyed their lives.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But saying that, like, you understand like you understand what the purpose behind it
Yeah,
was, right?
it was absolutely
That
unnecessary.
the whole idea was of I don't know if I would say it's unnecessary. I would say that the way that it was carried out was awful and it failed.
So on
I wouldn't say it's
MSN,
unnecessary though.
they're
I think
talking
it's-
about
Go ahead.
forced isolation. Maybe the only way to stop resurgence of the virus. Do you think that's a good technique?
Mhm.
So they come to your house.
In terms of quarantining people.
Well, they come to your house and they take you away for a few weeks.
I haven't seen any evidence of people getting taken away. I've seen people being told to stay in isolation. That is a common thing, and quarantining is not a new concept. That's a concept that is back for hundreds and hundreds of years, going back to the plague, because we know that is medically effective. That's the way to stop disease spread. So I guess if you could point to specific instance, and if you could send me the URL to that story in the chat, I'll take a look at that.
It's called forced isolation.
Taking somebody from
forced isolation may be the only way to stop resurgence
there's
of
a
virus. That's what it says. That's the title. That you could look that up. You'll find it. It's MSN.
So okay, I'll look it up. But it's on BC or just on it?
MSN.com. They quote. It looks like they took it from Bloomberg.
Okay. Let's see here. What's the date on it? Yesterday?
1 day ago. Yeah. It looks
Okay.
like
All right. I got the Bloomberg article here. Is that fine?
if it's the same one, does
If
it
it's
start
not
with
through
MSN,
MSN,
does it start with flare-ups of Australia or from Australia to Japan show the world hasn't learned an early lesson? Does it start with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it talks about Victoria, Australia specifically, and
right.
Okay, let me take a quick look at this. Yeah, so I've just barely skimmed this over, but
basically saying that out and about
in this context,
no, go ahead.
Yep. So isolation in this context means not going out and about when you are sick, and to limit the spread of the disease, because if people don't go out and about when they're sick, they can't transmit the disease, and then the disease ends. Now, I think it would be largely problematic if the government took you somewhere and said, you have to leave your house, your dwelling, we are forcibly taking you somewhere, putting you in here for the duration. I think that would be bad. But we're saying you need to stay at home when you are sick and putting other people at risk. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think it's quite commonplace in city where you say, you know what, you have the potential to be doing harm to other people. We put laws and measures in for that. I think that's normal and acceptable.
So, we can stop someone's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I would actually argue to the contrary. So let's say I'm out in public. Actually, okay, let me back up. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, I really don't wish you get that out, but I'm just putting this in hypothetical. So let's say you have the virus, right? You go out in public, even though you have it, you transmit it to somebody else. Because you chose to go out in public when you knew you were sick and it's a highly infectious disease, you were putting other people's life and liberty, literally their life and liberty, at risk when you know that they can be hospitalized for a very long time, they can die. That's literally their life that you're putting at risk there.
How do you
so
know?
I would
How
say
do you
that
know that in the hypothetical
willingly going out when
situation
you know you have the disease?
that person who had it gave it to the other person? How do you know that they're liable for giving it to that person? It's possible, but you don't know that they actually gave it to them.
That is true. We don't know for a fact that they did do that, but you are putting other people at risk. You're putting other people at the risk of losing their life and having potentially deadly outcomes by willingly going out when you're sick, an infectious disease that we don't know much. I think that we can both agree that you're at least putting people at risk when you go out, if you knew you were sick.
So, during a pandemic, does the Constitution get put on hold?
No, it doesn't. In fact, there's been several Supreme Court cases in terms of what constitutional rights you still have within a pandemic, and specific to medical care in terms of like preventing disease. So
the
for
right,
example,
we have a right
in
to peacefully gather.
1904,
Is that right taken away?
Say that again?
We have the right to peacefully assemble. We can gather in groups. That's a right. It's in the Bill of Rights. Why is there a restriction on that?
Yep. Now, because the Supreme Court has said in the past that government, specifically the executive branch, has power in times where there is medical emergency or it is medically necessary to take action, that your liberty is not necessarily absolute in that part. I can pull up the 1904 Supreme Court decision, Jacobson, Massachusetts, and cite it if
I'm
you want.
aware of it. I'm asking then, what's the point of it, of the Constitution?
What's the point of what?
What's the point of having it if we're not going to use it?
The point of the Constitution, I think we are using it because the court has decided what rights the government has, the executive branch has. How the Supreme Court makes decisions on how the Constitution is interpreted.
So the Supreme Court could say that you have a right to representation. The Supreme Court could say your right to representation. They could say that you only have the right to state representation, not private representation. They could say that if they wanted to, and then that would just be it. That would be their interpretation. That means that is right.
Okay. I mean that is how our government works. I'm not saying that means it's right, but that is the way that our government system is set up. That's how the Supreme Court works.
I understand that they interpret it. What I'm asking is if it's right.
Right. I don't know if it's necessarily. I know it's a system that we have. But if we decided to amend the Constitution and have some other way of figuring it out, sure, I would be open to hearing those ideas.
I don't understand what that had to do with what I asked. What I asked is,
you said,
is it right? Like, what's the point of having the Constitution if we're not going to use it? Which we're not using it. It's not being used. If the Bill of Rights can be suspended,
was created within.
Can be yes, but they can't interpret things in a way to diminish the rights that are specified in the Constitution.
Right. So here's the thing: we're always going to have issues of whether or not something is constitutional, right, or not, right? We both agree on that. There's always questions about that, right? You agree with that?
I understand that, but what I'm saying is when they say that you cannot peacefully gather, and it specifically says in there that you can peacefully gather or assemble, and that they can't stop. Let's just stick on that topic because it specifically says that in there. Then what's the point of having it if they are breaking something that it says they can't?
So it seems to me that your issue is more of the Supreme Court's opinion rather than it is an institution. Would that be correct?
No, it's not really the Supreme Court. What I'm asking is that what's the point of having the Constitution if we're not going to actually use it? So we have the right to peacefully assemble.
We do use it, and it's interpreted. No, hold on. So the way that our Constitution works is it's interpreted by the Supreme Court. Their interpretation, given the context, says that the government can step in when it is medically necessary and in times of emergency, and that those rights are not necessarily absolute. Now, we can debate whether or not the Supreme Court should have the role to do so or not, but that is the way that it works. That the Supreme Court is the person, or not the person, body that decides whether or not something is constitutional. With that being said, is that the best way of handling it? I don't know, but somebody in some part within the government needs to decide whether or not something follows the Constitution. They made their opinion on that, and that's where we are.
Is that right? So, like, if they had an opinion, if they have an opinion that on the Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent, that they say you have the right to remain silent, but your silent is a sign of guilt.
Yep.
They can interpret it that way. Now, right. So then, what's the point of even having that if that's the way that they're going to interpret it?
I mean, ultimately, that decision is going to fall in the hands of somebody. So the founders of the country decided to have a Supreme Court to solve those issues, and I'm not part of the Supreme Court, but I understand that they have a purpose. The purpose to decide those issues. Somebody has to decide those issues. We can't just say, "Oh well, we have this Constitution," but nobody's going to decide whether or not things are unconstitutional or not.
No, I understand that, but it's quite obvious that we have a right to peacefully assemble. So now they're saying that, well, you really don't have rights if we don't say that you. If we say you don't have rights, then you don't have rights. That wasn't the point of it. So is that,
I think,
opinion in and of itself unconstitutional?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, I can give you my opinion on that, but I don't think that my opinion matters in terms of that, and B, the Supreme Court is the one who decided. Honestly, like, the opinion of those 9 people, I truly think that the judicial branch is the most powerful branch within the government in terms of what they can and can't do. But yeah.
Well, ultimately, we are the most powerful. I mean, no one really knows it, I guess.
No, but I'm saying within the branches, the 3 branches of the government,
right?
Executive, legislative, and judicial.
Because whatever they decide to do, if they prosecute, we don't have to convict. I mean, so ultimately, we have the last say.
Right. I guess what I keep on seeing is you come back to this whole idea that the fate of the country is within the hands of these 9 people, even if we think that they're wrong, right?
Yeah, it's their opinion.
Right. I guess, yeah, it's their opinion. That's the way that our country is set up, for that to be those 9 people that decide. Although it hasn't always been 9 people, but
it would have been better. Well, this whole thing would have been better if we would have. I would have understood if we made exceptions for people who wanted to stay home and not get, and if they feared that they would get sick. And then the people who didn't, which I didn't, I was considered as essential. So I didn't stay home. I did everything normal. Apparently, all of my activities that I do on a daily basis are essential. So nothing stopped me.
There you go.
So I just don't. A mandatory lockdown and destroying of people's lives should not be in the hands of one individual.
It's in the hands of 9 individuals, but
no, it's implemented at the decision making of one individual.
Right. But then, so you said you're from Ohio, right?
Right.
Okay. So, what's a
Dickhead DeWine.
Yeah, DeWine. Yeah. So DeWine is your governor, right? You have a Supreme Court, just like every other state. So people take issue with whatever mandate, they challenge it through the court system, and works its way to the Supreme Court, and then they decide.
Yeah, but the damage is already done.
I mean, I guess you're always gonna. I guess then your issue is more with like what power the head of state has.
Right. None of the representatives. None of our representatives had a say in it. Don't you think they should have a say?
I'll ask you this: would you be okay with it if the legislator voted in favor of it?
No, but it would have been better, because then
it would have been better.
Yes, because then there's more than just one person. And then Amy Acton was the top health official in Ohio. She's not even elected, and she's telling people what to do. So.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't know what it's like in Ohio. I can only speak for where I live in Minnesota, but I do know that some Supreme Court justices in states are not elected officials. They are purely appointed, and most of the judicial system works that way. So I guess it kind of comes down to like whether or not you think that like every position should be elected, or what we should do about that.
Well, when you're talking about destroying people's lives en masse, there should be more than 1 or 2 people's decisions.
But wouldn't that same problem occur if the legislator passed something that did the same effect?
Sure, but it would have been more than one person. There would have been more.
And so I don't know. I think your issues keep on coming back to the way that the government is, the power that it has, with the power that it's been given within state and federal constitution.
Yes, that's been the entire time. It wasn't really the questions I was asking, but that I do have an issue with that. Yes, overall. And what's so funny to me is, like, if you look at things like indefinite detention of American citizens, under Obama, when they signed all that into law, and it's so funny that people were all for that. Then when Donald Trump gets in, they're like afraid that he's going to use those powers. It's like, well, Yeah, no shit. When someone gets in that is a terrible person, I'm not saying Donald Trump is a terrible person or not, but in the future, if someone is like a legitimate tyrant that gets in to office and uses all of those powers that were never used, but we're just there waiting for the right time to use them, we're gonna have a massive problem with that. And that's the issue that I have with these very broad allowances of power over our rights.
I guess I would say to that is the only way around that is amending the Constitution.
To do what?
To change the power that executive chief executive chiefs have in the power of the executive branch.
It's already in the Constitution.
Right,
but we don't follow the Constitution.
I think I guess that's where we might have disagreement. I think that the Supreme Court has decided a lot of that, whether or not things are acceptable or not, and there's been several cases where executive orders are challenged at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court makes a ruling on that. It seems to me that the issues that you have come back to the way that it's structured rather than the substance of it. Like, such as the idea that the fate of a lot of things are in one person's hands, or the fate that is
it's more
hands of the Supreme Court.
It's more or less, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. We're endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights or inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that was stifled by the decision of one person in Ohio.
Okay, so like I said, the Supreme Court of Ohio can decide on whether or not that violates their state constitution.
I understand you're taking the legal. All right, well, this is not going anywhere. I mean, you're saying the same thing over and over again. I'm asking you, is it right or wrong?
Yeah, I'm not. I've said I don't know. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I think that the way that our country is set up is to do so, do it that way. If there's better alternatives out there than having 9 people be able to decide the fate of a country, or have your one person, the DWine, if there's a way for that to happen, sure, I will be open to listening to how that happens. But with that being said, the only way that is going to happen is via constitutional amendments.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, because we don't follow the Constitution.
So what would you say?
A Supreme Court's
In your
opinion,
interpretation.
a Supreme Court's opinion could not be in line with the original intent of the Constitution.
Right.
Yes.
So I guess with that being, who wants to decide questions over whether or not something is constitutional? How should that be decided?
What I'm saying is that just because the Supreme Court decides on their opinion what the interpretation of the Constitution is, doesn't mean that that's the interpretation of the Constitution of how it was founded.
The correct interpretation.
Yes.
Right.
So it's already in the Constitution
I guess
what they can and cannot do.
And in the Constitution, and the way that we found our country is the Supreme Court decides those issues. if you don't like that, I would just say like, who would you want to decide whether or not these are constitutional or not if it's Supreme Court?
So it's basically.
Do you want to put things to referendums?
It's basically the Supreme Court has ruled that the governors or the president, the executive branches, can suspend the Constitution when they feel that it is necessary to do so. Now, where in the Constitution does it say that that can happen?
Correct. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is we have the way that constitutional disagreements are decided, right? You happen to disagree with the way that this has been decided and dealt with. What would your alternative be? Who decides whether or not something is constitutional? Absent of the Supreme
But that's not what I said. That's not what I'm saying. You said we need to make a constitutional amendment. I'm saying that we don't need to. It's already in the Constitution.
That's the only. Well, I'm saying, right, and that's been interpreted and decided by the Supreme Court. I guess my thing is, we keep on going back to the idea of whether or not the Supreme Court is right or wrong in their opinion. We can debate that. With that being said, you disagree with the Supreme Court's opinions on certain things, and you say they don't follow the Constitution, and you're not in favor of the Supreme Court because it's 9 people deciding the fate of the country. What is the alternative to those 9 people? Country.
That's not true.
Or is it
that's not true?
There are the wrong people.
That's not true. Nowhere does any entity have the authority to give another entity absolute power to suspend the Constitution. That defies the whole point of the Constitution.
It's their job to interpret the Constitution.
So in their interpretation of the Constitution, they can.
I disagree with their interpretation.
So in their interpretation of the Constitution says that they can suspend the Constitution.
Yeah, so that is their interpretation.
Okay, so
I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, but that is their interpretation.
That was the whole point I've been trying to get to this whole time. Is that can any entity say that yes, during this time the Constitution's void?
The only entity that can do that is the judicial system.
Where in the Constitution does it say that they could do that?
Constitution establishes the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's job, I think we can agree, the Supreme Court's job is to interpret the Constitution, right?
So therefore, if they're suspending the Constitution, then they're suspended. So they've suspended the Constitution. Oh, just the parts that don't affect them.
This is part of the Constitution.
Okay, so it's a wrong thing to do. That would be what the Constitution doesn't represent. See, they can do things that basically the whole thing I've been trying to convey is that you can have bad people interpret the Constitution. Right. And that's not what the Constitution stands for.
Absolutely, and they could do whatever the fuck they want. They could say, correct. So I guess what I keep coming back to is, seems your issue is the 9 people that are on it and their interpretation of it. Right? You disagree with their interpretation and think that they're doing a bad job at it.
Just that specifically. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of the Supreme Court. It's just that they're not allowed to suspend the document that gives them the power to do what they're doing.
But they have the power to interpret it and make the decision, which is basically final.
It doesn't mean that it's right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not here to say that the Supreme Court opinion is right or wrong. I'm just saying that it means that that's their decision, and unless the Supreme Court in the future reverses a decision, that is what's going to be the law of the land. I think we can agree that's what happens.
They could rule that the First Amendment gave freedom of speech only to talk good about the government, that you can't talk bad about the government. They could interpret it that way and say, this is our opinion on this. Yeah, it doesn't mean that that's the interpretation of the Constitution. That's their interpretation.
That's their interpretation.
Right.
That is correct. That is a true statement. But that's their power and that's their job. And if that happened, I would wholeheartedly disagree. I disagree with them. But at the end of the day, they are the ones who make that decision. And that's the way that our government is set up. And that's been the way it's been set up since our Constitution. But
I agree, but that wasn't the point I was making.
Your point is whether or not it's right or wrong, correct?
Yes. And whether or not we even have to listen to it. Because specifically, especially if you ask veterans, they take an oath to the Constitution, not the people who are holding office. So if the interpretation of the Constitution is grossly misinterpreted, then they technically don't have to listen to it. Technically, that's technically.
Sure, but then I would say if you go out and so when the Supreme Court decides something, it becomes the law of the land, right? If you go out and decide to, for whatever law it is, break the law, there will be consequences, and then you live with those consequences. So if we go out there and say, you know what, fuck the Constitution, we don't like this, or not fuck the Constitution, fuck the Supreme Court's decision and the laws that they set forth, we're going to choose to defy them, then we have to live with the consequences of it.
Well, you can get arrested, and then you go to court, and the jury doesn't have to convict.
That's true. That's true.
And that's been throughout the history of this nation. Well, especially in the early days, before it even really had a name of jury nullification. People would say, "Yeah, we know he's guilty of it, but we liked it."
Yeah, jury nullification is a real thing. Although I do think some states have some laws against it, which I don't know how I feel about.
Right.
I think that's kind of suspect, but yeah.
Well, because that's the end of the checks and balances. The end of the checks and balances is with us. That's period.
Yeah.
And us being the jury, even if the law was broken, if we think it's a terrible law, then we don't convict. It's perfect. The checks and balances are great.
So I guess that's what I would say. If you want to go out and violate whatever laws are specific to Ohio, or if anybody wants to violate whatever laws that are specific to their jurisdiction, do so at your own risk and be willing to understand that, you may have to go in front of a jury of your peers, and ultimately your fate would be in their hands.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with what you said. It wasn't the point I was making. Well, now you understand the point I was making. I was more blunt about it.
I I get what you're saying. The point is that the people are important, and we don't want to have that system circumvented.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, there's a insect that landed on this napkin here, and I went to I picked up the napkin and flicked it, and it didn't. It's like having a seizure, upside down.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's actually kind of not fun to watch.
Oh boy, that isn't. Well, I'll let you go. Good conversation. It's interesting to hear your viewpoints. I hope that hope you enjoyed it.
Well, yes,
all right,
I
take
did.
care. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. There he goes. All right, I do have to run, and this thing's like really tweaking me out here. This insect. It's like upside down, having like shaking. I must have hit it really good. I was just trying to get it away from me. It's like pretty big. I don't know what it is, but I gotta clean this mess up. 855-873-8244. Press 1 to listen, 2 to call. Rights, we got rights up in this bitch. They don't get suspended by anyone. TrewBigShow.com, that's the website. You can go there, log in. There's a chat room, all that. And then when you call, press 1 to listen. Then if you want to call in, press 2. The show will be on a loop. You'll hear it. It was kind of lengthy today, but fun conversations. Absolutely. All right, I do have to get out of here. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.
The Treubig Show. TrewBigShow.com.
The Treubig Show.
So what's the point?
The point of what?
Are you making a point?
A point about what? You said, what's the point? That would imply... Are you saying, what's the point of what I'm saying?
No, I'm asking you. I mean, you're asking me. You're responding with a question.
You're asking me. You're using too many pronouns, man.
No, I'm asking you. What's the point?
When you say what? The point to what?
I'm asking you, what's the point?
No,
and you're totally responding with a question.
I totally understand what your point is. I heard the sentence. I'm saying, please please explain what you mean by these words.
I want you to
elaborate.
I want you to expand on what you were saying.
Of what?
I want you to expand on what you were saying.
About what? Specifically what? We're talking about a lot of things.
Well, now I can't remember because you asked so many questions.